I'm just going with the value here. I think Bart Cummings, Ken Cornella at Denendry on top, number 3 from number 1, Dashing Eagle, and Angel's Image, number 8 for third.
One more chance for me for Dashing Eagle, number 1. I think Bart will win his 8th Oaks from 7, Calm Abiding, and number 5, Superb Lady. Down in the betting ring, all of the activity going on. And here to check on it is Tim Gossage. Tim?
Thanks, Peter. They waited and waited and waited. Now they've come for Dashing Eagle. It is a standout favourite. Still a good each-way odds, but it is the outright favourite. The top weight, Denendry, Tambor and Calm Abiding are all on the next line of betting. And there's been money at double-figure odds for Angel's Image. It also would be a bad result, but they've all gone for the top weight, the Eagle. Yes, they've backed Dashing Eagle again late, and still more money for Angel's Image, Dan.
Angel's Image did romp in against an Denendry at Geelong the Oaks trial. They're set now for the Oaks, Crown Oaks of 1996. 2,500 metre Group 1, 20-year-old fillies, and they're off and racing now. Terrific cheer from the crowd as well. Superb Lady and Pray for Rain amongst the best two to begin Angel's Image. Dashing Eagle racing up on the speed today. Dayro Bay is very wide early. Calm Abiding goes up to about 6th. Around hiding outside of Dashing Eagle. Well, Darren Beatman's given it every possible chance. The favourite 4th, the Rails. A length away, Superb Lady. Lady Rebar going up wide next from Pray for Rain, followed by Tambor, and then came Zaya. Denendry was next as they run up towards the home bend, and they were followed by Fairway Lass getting to about 6th. Countess Carmen well back as they approach the bend from Order, and My Bright here, 550 to go. Dayra Bay going up to Angel's Image, who's cuddled around the turn, still a length in front though, Angel's Image. Calm Abiding ridden along, and then Dashing Eagle. Denendry's running on strongly, and then came wide out on the track by Fairway Lass at the 300. Angel's Image about a half to Dayra Bay under the whip, but coming out, and here comes Denendry now running on. My Bright here running a race, and then came Fairway Lass. It's Angel's Image, Dayra Bay, Denendry and My Bright here getting up on the rail. Dayra Bay goes to Angel's Image, getting up on the inside. My Bright here and Denendry. Denendry wide out, My Bright here. My Bright has caused a boil over, getting right up on the inside to beat Denendry. Close up Angel's Image, Dayra Bay in a thrilling Oaks. Then Pray for Rain, followed in by Lamormini from Countess Carmen, Order, Fairway Lass, Dashing Eagle, Zaya, Superb Lady, Tambor, Calm Abiding, and Lady Rebar's back at the tail.
Crowd had swelled to close to 70,000 by the time the field moved into the mounting yard for the running of the feature race. 927's Brian Martin.
Front here comes Denendry, followed by Dayra Bay, and My Bright here starting to run home well in the middle. My Bright is getting home, it's Dayra Bay, and on the inside Angel's Image, and My Bright here up on the fence. The bolter My Bright is getting up to Dayra Bay, and My Bright here. My Bright has won the Oaks, I think.
Success. Bart Cummings was going for his 8th Oaks. Dashing Eagle ran favourite ahead of Denendry, but the race provided a surprise. Angel's Image and Dayra Bay at the 200 from My Bright here, who's looking for a run between them, and then Denendry. It's Dayra Bay getting to Angel's Image with My Bright here on the inside. Dayra Bay put her nose in front. A 3-way go. My Bright here pushes up on the fence and won it. My Bright here on the inside. Coming from
to get the run along the fence. Number 10, the winner, My Bright has got it at massive odds. Has got through on the rails to defeat Denendry, who took a long, long time to warm up. Seemed to be trained the place getter in the Melbourne Cup, so it's been a big week for him, but none bigger than winning the Group 1 Oaks with My Bright here, Pete.
It has been
Take it through the race from barrier right.
Yeah, all I want to do is get her to relax early, and she did that straight away for me. I was back second last, but I was always really happy with the way she was going in the run. When I asked her to go forward for me, she just changed gears and got on the beat and travel for me, and you know, I had the best one. I probably went around one horse during the whole race.
That's a terrific effort, you know, to go around one horse in a bit.
Second placing in the race going to Denendry, running a usual honest race. What a finish it was. It was almost shades of the Cox Plate, with pretty close to 4 in line, about 50 metres from the line, but that filly dropped.
The South Australian trainer Len Smith, who had 3rd-placed Skybow in the Cup.
When Glenn went for the inside run, I was worried a bit, but he's a good rider, so he was managed to get us through.
I rode the other day, she got beaten nearly 13.5 lengths, and I said to her, don't lose any faith. I said, this can run a very big race in the Oaks. Took the blinkers and the Norton bit off, and, you know, winners are grinners. I'm glad it worked out.
My Bright here started 50 to 1, Denendry 2nd, so Cummings runner-up in both the Derby and Oaks. A game effort by Dayra Bay, who's still only a 2-year-old by folding date.
Group 1 win in Melbourne for Glenn Boss. In fact, the first win at Flemington for Glenn Boss. We all wished he'd waited another day, Max. And the surprise was Dashing Eagle, Bart's second string runner being backed into favouritism. Denendry who you'd thought would have had better form, looked to have the race beat until the blouser came.
Yes, well, it's just surprising that with her staying blood that she just does not get to the line in these long-distance races, Dashing Eagle. But just about the ride of the carnival, I'd say, Glenn Boss. He took the inside split where Denendry went out wide, and that's certainly what won him the race.
Plays together from track rider just up in front of them as they approach the home turn. Sandridge Bay, Monet's Cave is back to last. 550 to go, and it's Millward on the outside of Northern Warrior. Northern Warrior will straighten over length in front of Millward, then Track Rider. They were followed by Maximal getting up on the inside. Suburbia putting himself into the race, and then Golden Scroll running down to the 300 metres mark, and Millward has gone up to hit the lead. Suburbia just behind him, and then Track Rider, Maximal into the clear and running on from Northern Warrior. But the leader is Millward over a length and a half in front. Maximal is knuckling down from Suburbia, but it's all Millward. He is a very smart horse. Millward's going to win well from Suburbia and Maximal. That's the way they finish. Millward first, second Suburbia, third Maximal, then came...
Beautiful win, Dan. Beautifully ridden by John Marshall. I'm sure anyone who backed him, took the short odds, had no worry in the run.
Sixth, the smart Morward lived up to his expanding reputation. Morward hit the front now. He led by about a length and a half or two on Suburbia, and then Maximal coming on down the outside, but Octagonal's little brother has got a turn of foot. Races 3 lengths Suburbia, and Maximal and Morward keeps the unbeaten record and wins it easily. This colt has untapped potential. A magnificent turn of foot left his rivals struggling as he ran the fastest final 600 of the day.
He just keeps improving that 1 length every start that I've been able to see him at, and look, he did that pretty comfortably. Yeah. He takes a little bit of riding to get him going, doesn't he, up on the steel, but once he gets it, Gary, he looks so impressive.
He was very impressive here, and they ran 1:22.7, which is very good time. As you just said.
Congratulating the connections and talking about his horse. I think we've just seen a pretty smart performance there, and we'll find out from Clary just how smart this horse is. You had a pretty good one in Terce. How does he stack up against him?
I think he'd be better than Terce. He never got a chance to run in the slip of this horse, but he always showed much more abilities. I think he'd be a great horse. And, 12 months' time, I hope he's a superstar of the turf.
You think he will be?
Yeah, I do. Honestly, I think he's a great horse, and he'll just get better and better.
Just when he went for him and he flattened out, he finds that 2 or 3 lengths, which is the sign of a really good horse, isn't it?
This is what I mean about the horse. He's a lovely horse to train. He over-raced a little bit, as you can see. John was going to be wide, so he sort of went forward on the horse. He was laying on the turn a bit, you know. This is why we brought him down. All these learning things, you know. He's still only a young horse, and life's a big joke to him, but he's coming around nice. And but as you say, when you say go something, well, he wakes up and he does it, and that's the good thing about the horse. And I'm very grateful to have him because he's a bloody good horse.
Sandown Guineas, Clary?
No, Spell now. He'll come back for the Cadbury Guineas. I
think we've got a lot to look forward to when we see him back here in February. Well done.
Yeah, I hope we all have. Yeah.
Clary Connors, the winning trainer.
Some good horses in your time, Sky Chase amongst them. This horse must rate right up there with them.
Well, at the same time in their preparations, this horse is certainly right up with them, John.
He seems to do everything right in a race.
He's got a great temperament. He's a ready-made racehorse. He just doesn't put a foot wrong.
You know, 3 starts, 3 wins, and he has
6. When we saw a little horse called Millward having his first start in Melbourne and only his 3rd start in a race, and we might be talking about a horse that is going to do a lot in his time on Australian racetracks. Millward.
51.5 kilos here. I think he's got a terrific chance from number 9, Seiko. Really tried hard on Saturday as well. And for 3rd, I put in number 11, Brackenbank.
Well, you're the odd girl out because you've gone for Armadale. The rest of us going for Poetic King, who is just a model of consistency. Wouldn't you love to have a horse like him who tries as hard as him? He's won, I think, 3 Group 1 races. He's just a terrific horse, and of course won the Toorak Handicap over 1600 at his last start, and prior to that had won up the straight here in the Rupert Steel. But he gives his all every time he races.
Does he?
Yes, they do. Dan, who's the favourite?
It's a terrific sprint field, isn't it? With Mahogany at $9.80, Poetic King $3.20, Sequalo $18, Sword $11.80, You Remember $12.40, Rivada $22.60. Over the page, Rai Hero, Seika, Ruffles, Brackenbank, Regal Centre, Armadale, Spartacus. Real quality field of sprinters under weight for age conditions, due at 5 minutes after 4.
And to tell us all about it, Tim.
Peter, they have backed one, and it's the most unlikely one too. It's number 12, Regal Centre, was very big double-figure odds. It is now into single figures, a big result for punters. Regal Centre, of course, raced in round second at its last start. Poetic King is the outright favourite, and there's a lot of sentimental money for Mahogany first up. But Regal Centre, the big go in the ring.
Price as the outsider of the field is only at $25, so it shows you how much depth and quality it has in this Linlithgow. $3.90 Poetic King and $1.70 for the place is the popular pick. There's the outsider at $25 only. And Brackenbank, Regal Centre, Armadale, and quality field of sprinters in the Linlithgow. And they've all been placed in the stalls. Light is on. Gates crash back and they're off and racing now. And a couple of them are going to go spearing straight to the outside rail. Armadale and Brackenbank. The bulk of the field will come down the flat side. Ruffles and Spartacus are showing good speed here. They're going to settle in front of Ravada. Seeker up there, followed by Sequalo. Just in behind those, Regal Centre, Sword further out with Poetic King, and Mahogany's probably last on the inside of You Remember as they run up towards the 800 metres point. Down the grandstand side, Armadale in front of Brackenbank. They've got about 700 metres left to travel. Spartacus is the leader from Seeker in second spot. Over on the inside, Ruffles, and then came Sequalo, Ravada, then Regal Centre, Mahogany, further back then to Sword, Poetic King, You Remember, and Rye Hero down the grandstand side. Armadale a length and a half in front of Brackenbank. They're inside the 400. A host of chances. Mahogany looking for a run. He's moved into the race. Wider out on the track, Poetic King. Regal Centre was there as well, and then Spartacus. Mahogany hit the lead. Poetic King is coming at him. Mahogany in front. The Lee Friedman train pair have it between them. It's Mahogany a length in front. Poetic King wearing him down now. Mahogany and Poetic King. Mahogany! What a training performance. Mahogany has beaten Poetic King. 3 away Ruffles in front of Rye Hero for third, and then Spartacus. Followed home by You Remember, then Regal Centre, next home Seeker from Sword, Ravada, and then Sequalo, and those down the grandstand side, Brackenbank and Armadale.
What a return to Flemington for one of the great champs of the modern era. Mahogany bringing a tear to the eye of trainer Lee Friedman and jockey Greg Hall in the Linlithgow Stakes.
Mahogany in front, Poetic King trying hard. It's Mahogany in front, Mahogany, a half-head Poetic King.
A great battle ending Mahogany's drought. But at the 200-metre mark now, Mahogany hits the front. It's Mahogany with Poetic King coming after him at the 100. Mahogany by a length, Poetic King, the stablemates. It's Mahogany giving plenty. Poetic King coming at him hard. Mahogany wanted ahead, Poetic King. Mahogany's last win, February 9th.
Quinella and Mahogany, former horse of the year, seems to be the forgotten horse, and he's won the Linlithgow. That's a super training performance. I know he's done it so often, Lee Friedman, with Mahogany, but it's just amazing the way he can do it in this sort of quality sprint line. Well,
and particular satisfaction, I think, from that win.
This is one of my most satisfying wins in the last couple of years. I mean, to get him back and win at this level is just superb.
He's had his knockers, this horse, hasn't he?
No, he's a great sprinter. You keep him fresh, he's a great sprinter, you know. And I was always confident in the run, you know, that he'd win.
What happened on that trip up to Sydney?
I don't know. He's probably a bit tired or something. I don't know.
We all get tired, don't we?
He looked the best he ever had today.
And he was trotting at the 300, and it was just a matter of whether Plugger could get to him.
Well, that's right. Where's he run second?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I got the Quinella.
Oh, you didn't even know. Right. I suppose you were keeping a close eye on Mahogany because you do have great affection for this horse, don't you?
I love him. He's been a great horse to me. And, you know, he's had his knockers, but I think if you keep him fresh now, he's old. He's a great horse.
What now? We might have had a false start there, but Greg Hall, you can see how delighted he is here. And there's something about this horse that the connections love. As I say, he has had his critics, his knockers over the years, but Jennifer mentioned that he has fantastic fresh form, and you can hear the crowd giving him a wonderful ovation. Here on King, as we said, gallant in the feed second, leading the horse back in. Former horse of the year, Mahogany, hasn't started since the 21st of September. In fact, he's only had 3 runs.
And he got out to the good odds of 7-1 Mahogany in beating the stablemate Poetic King with Ruffles in third place. And the final event on the program taken by Go Rami, who had to survive a...
What did you make of it, Gaz?
Oh, look, I like number 8, Lady of the Pines. I thought it looked very well. Went down nice in its plim. Sports looks good. And number 3, Deceive, the other one of Johnny Hawks's.
Oh, now, little one.
But Lady of the Pines, it looked really smart to me.
A nice lumper for Philly, Gary.
Yeah, beautiful. And, you know, I was interested. I was talking to Peter Hayes at Caulfield Guineas Day, and he said they'd had a problem with their horses with all the wet weather over there.
But you can spacing. Oh, it come out and stumbled, Sports it all but fell. And it's missed at 5 lengths because of it. Now, the first out was Tregurian with Deceive. King Carl going away okay to third. Sports is trying to make up his ground after that shocking error at the start where he just stumbled. Over on his outside, getting to about 5th spot now, was Lady of the Pines. Umrum giving a crack with a whip is 2 lengths away at the tail of the field, and Sheer Vigour getting up on the inside has got to about 6th. Running onto the course proper, 500 to go. Deceive and Tregurian together. From King Carl, Lady of the Pines, Sheer Vigour, Don't Say Goodbye, ridden along, and then Sports and Umrum. At the 350, it's Deceive on the inside of Tregurian, and now Lady of the Pines is joining in comfortably on the outside, going up to tackle the stablemate, and they're clear from King Carl, but Lady of the Pines given a crack with a whip, got to the front. Tregurian trying to go with it. They're clear from Deceive. It's Lady of the Pines, the outside of Tregurian. Lady of the Pines has taken the lead, and she's going to win. Lady of the Pines first, beat Tregurian, a stable Quinella for Peter Hayes. Third, Deceive, 2 lengths away. Umrum got to the line well from Don't Say Goodbye, then King Carl Sports. It just sprawled at the start, and Sheer Vigour back at the tail.
Yeah, it's very unlucky, Sports. He, as you called it, right at the start, Dan, he went right down on his knee.
What happens here, Umrum was also a bit tardy to begin, which was just outside it.
There they go.
Have a look, it's just gone down on its haunches.
His
Look at that. Gee. And even Umrum was awkward out, the horse outside it.
Yeah, the horse is just sprawled, and 7.7, and yeah, they've ran 57.7.
Group 1 race on the final day, Jen, and the selections from yourself.
Number 10, Buzz Off from number 4, Lockray, and number 6, Scenic Royale.
Scenic Royale, number 6 for me, as they go to the gates. And Seascape for Johnny Letts. Can he create history? We'll find out shortly. Scenic Royale from Richard Freeman. On their way to the stalls now, the big one of the final day, the Chrysler Stakes, 1,600 here for horses like Salius and Mr. Marconi. It's going to be tough from out deep.
$13, Mamselle Padril just under that, Salius 11.60, Lockray 7.40. I can tell you there's been a big go on him. Mr. Marconi 34, Scenic Royale $8.40, Shame at 14, Sober Suit 52, Station Hand 47, Buzz Off 7, Catlin Opening 20, Kingston Bay 40, Rose of Portland 5.80, Miss Margaret at $9.40, 15, Simple as That at $90 runs the outsider of the field, and Hetzler's Peter.
It has been an enormous go.
Peter, all I'm going to say is Lockray, Lockray, Lockray. That's all the only horse anyone wants down here. You can still get overs on the tote, much shorter here. It's almost halved its quote. It's come in a big way. It's the biggest plunge of the day so far.
So Lockray, the one there back, Tim Gossage.
Yes, I like Miss Locked Away. Terrific field of milers. Some of the best handicappers in the country, and they're often racing in the Group 1 Chrysler. Away well, Miss Margaret, Rose of Portland from down to the inside. Catlin Opening was up handy. Lockray just behind the early speed. Mr. Marconi is cutting across with Headstrong, and they race forward early. The New Zealander settled in front. Headstrong goes up to maintain the pressure second. A length away, Mamselle Padril third. Miss Margaret on its inside, a length to Sober Suit. Over on the inside, Catlin Opening, and then Station Hand around Rose of Portland. Salius improving, and they were followed by Kingston Bay way out from Scenic Royale. Lockray and Shame in between horses, followed by Buzz Off and then Seascape, and Simple as That last of all. They've tried to slow up the tempo before the turn at the 700, and in a packing field, Mr. Marconi the leader. Another New Zealander, Kingston Bay, going up wide around Headstrong and Mamselle Padril. Station Hand just in behind those, Salius wide out, and then came back to the inside, Miss Margaret, followed by Catlin Opening, Rose of Portland, Lockray behind a wall of horses from Station Hand. Down to the 300 metres mark, Mamselle Padril goes up to Headstrong, Mr. Marconi. Miss Margaret trying to get a run nearer the inside. Further out was Sober Suit running a race, and then Scenic Royale. The leader, Miss Margaret, pushing through down to the inside, has hit the front. Scenic Royale is running on, and wide out was Buzz Off, but Miss Margaret got clear. Miss Margaret is going to win the Chrysler. Scenic Royale gets to second, but Miss Margaret wins it from Scenic Royale and Headstrong, and then Sober Suit, Mr. Marconi, Buzz Off, Shame, Mamselle Padril, Seascape, Station Hand, Kingston Bay, Catlin Opening. Lockray had no luck, and then Sally, as Simple as That, and Rose of Portland has finished towards the tail.
Ray Buzz Off. Seascape back second last, and Simple as That last of all. 600 to go, and the leader on the inside here, Mr. Marconi from Headstrong. Mamselle Padril makes a line of 3, a line of 4, Kingston Bay. Salius 5 wide, behind them Miss Margaret. They're followed further back by Sober Suit, Rose of Portland pushing through in the middle. Then Scenic Royale a fair way back in the race. Then Lockray, Shame and Buzz Off down the outside. In the straight, Mamselle Padril, Headstrong, and now Miss Margaret getting up on the inside. Miss Margaret got the rails run, grabbed Headstrong at the 150. Miss Margaret a neck in front of Headstrong. Wider out Scenic Royale, but Miss Margaret pinched a break. Might get her home. Scenic Royale coming late, but Miss Margaret 3/4 Scenic Royale ahead third.
Definitely dominated by the Hayes dynasty of trainers in recent years, and that trend continued today. It's Miss Margaret going to the lead over Headstrong, Mr. Mahogany and Mamselle Padrille. Miss Margaret by a length at the 100 from Headstrong and running on a Scenic Royale late, but Miss Margaret in front, and Miss Margaret won it from Scenic Royale second again.
A 10 out of 10 ride, Dan. You saw it then. Miss Margaret drew one, beautifully ridden by Shane Dye. He waited and waited on it. She's got a very short run. He could have gone a bit earlier, but he just waited, poked between them, got her up and held off Scenic Royale. What an unlucky horse he's been. He's been second in the Vic Health Cup, second in the Toorak, second in the race at the Valley, and now second here. Here they are, Aaron.
I think I said to you last year that they should rename this the Hayes Stakes, and now it's 5 years in a row that the family has won the race.
Yes, it's been a very lucky race for us. We always seem to have the right sort of horse here to win the race, and yeah, great.
She's probably not the classiest horse in the race.
Run for the Hayes family, beginning with Better Loosen Up in 1989. Colin, David and Peter have won the race 6 times in 8 years.
You know, she's a tremendous mare, this. One of the better mares in Australia, and she's just had no luck at the last 2 runs. She's had to carry big weights, and through circumstances, Danny's had to get there a little too early on her. And today, held up for a late run. She was terrific.
Well, it's easy to ride these horses when they draw barrier 1, and they've got 51 on their back, and they're well trained. You know, it's not hard to win on them.
A race that developed into a sprint home. Miss Margaret had the acceleration required. It was Shane Dye's first win of the carnival. Lots of hard luck stories. The favourite Lockray and Scenic Royale worst affected.
Scenic Royale was the run of the race because it was run at a dawdling pace early. Miss Margaret up on the tempo with a lightweight certainly had an advantage considering the way it was run. But a good ride by Shane Dye. That run there, Jim, I think it was indicative of the way Dye rides. Perfectly positioned, went through the opening, and that's what won the day. But by gee, Scenic Royale got to the line very quickly in an event that wasn't run to suit.
Yeah, it was good to see Billy bounce back. He's had a quiet carnival, and I liked his little comment at the presentation that he hadn't ridden a winner over the carnival, but had still been riding in great form.
OK, one of the other people. Number 3 for me, as they go up to the gates here for race 6, the Queen Elizabeth Stakes. In years gone by, this used to be somewhat of a consolation race for the Melbourne Cup runners. But Stan.
Yeah, Pete, 490 Pratara's Bay. Gee, it's an open race, isn't it? A real race of chances, as it is year in, year out. Valence at 660, Crying Game 15 or just under, Desert Chill 20, Boheat 12, Storm 520, Bullwinkle, Bridge 56, Nat the Brat, Rover, Gay Qua, Berserk and Acomet. Wait for the light. Get it now, racing. Good breakaway too. One of the first out was Valence with Dark Czar, Bohead, Crying Game. Prattler from wide out is trying to get across in front of the field, and he will be able to do that from a wide alley. Storm is out wide around Crying Game as Prattler found the lead. Dark Czar's back in about 8th, placing around Desert Chill out of the straight. Dark at the 950-metre mark, and Prattler leads about 3/4 of a length to Crying Game, going up to put a bit more pressure on now. A length and a half to Bohead on the inside of Storm, followed by Darchar Valence. Desert Chill next, a length and a half to Berserk, followed by Bullwinkle, and then came Dark Czar. Cedo Bridge on its inside from Accommodate, then came Gayqua, Nat the Brat and well back Rover. Pratara's Bay's back to second last, but one around it. Rounding the turn, 550 to go. It's Prattler, Crying Game together, running on Storm, followed by Valence. Bohead in need of a run. Desert Chill making a race of it. He's wide out from Berserk, and then came Dark Czar as they run down to the 300. Prattler joined by Valence and Storm. Then Berserk, Crying Game can't go on. Bohead getting through the centre. Valence has taken the lead. Bohead's a length away second, and then came Storm and Desert Chill, but it's Valence going for home. He's drawn clear from Bohead, Storm and Gateway late, but it's Valence. Valence is going to break through today. He's drawing right away to win easily. Valence is first, Bohead second, third Storm, then Gateway. They were followed in by Desert Chill from Rover, which made up ground. Dark Czar, then Darcher. Next in Berserk. They were followed by Cedo Bridge and Pratara's Bay, never in it. Prattler got tired from Crying Game. McGuan accommodate Bullwinkle and Nat the Brat at the tail.
100 metres to go. Crying Game striding up on the outside of Prattler. Bowheat on the fence, waits for the run. Storm is 3 out and 4 out. Desert Chill and Darcher is out wide, and Balance gets into the clear. Into the straight they race, 5.50 out. Storm going out after Prattler. Then Crying Game. Bowheat trying to get off the rail, and Balance comes at them quickly. Wide out, Balance strides up now to Storm from Bowheat Prattler. Then a gap in the race further back. Desert Chill followed by Berserk. But Balance, the Queensland Derby winner, has taken the lead inside the 200. Shows a good turn of foot, sprints away from Bowheat and Storm. Then Desert Chill, Prattler and Gakwa, but Balance draws away, holds Bowheat and Storm at bay. And Balance down to the post for York, wins 2.5 Bowheat. Storm third from...
A perfect ride by Brian York got the perfect result in the Queen Elizabeth.
But Valance took the upper hand at the 200, raced 2 lengths in front now from Bowheat to second, then Storm on the outside from Desert Chill and Prattler, but Valance is one acting affair this. Away goes Valance, and he scores very easily, wins it by over 3 to Bowheat. Storm is third.
3 metres down, if you could have put any more money on Valance, you would have loved to have. It was just doing half pace. Brian York moved him away from the rail, getting to the corner, and look, it was all over Red Rover when he let him go. He just strode right away, but he's a very good horse. And
he was too good. It was Newcastle trainer Peter Eggleston's first Melbourne win, but already he's hatching cup plans for next year.
That'll be our aim now with him. He'll miss the autumn in Sydney, and we'll concentrate on the Melbourne Carnival next spring.
Valance heavily back from 9 to 2 into 7 to 2, defeating Bowheat and Storm. The sprint cut up rough, ran favourite.
Well, a good performance by Valance, and Peter Eggleston deserved that luck change. He had a wet track in the Caulfield Cup and was balloted out of the last on Derby Day. Watch for him in the Sandown Cup next week, David. I think he'll might notch another.
Yes, and he also made the comment to look out for Valance in next year's Melbourne Cup, Keith. Well, the other one yesterday was the Hilton...
There's a late. And away, King Ivor dwelt a little at the start down on the inside, otherwise a good dispatch, and Cool Choice, Monet's Cove, Mighty Way and Whisperers all showing pace early. Kentucky, Mighty Way travelling 3 wide, 1,000 to go. On the inside is King Ivor and Maximil between horses. 2 lengths Flak Jacket, and then Zaya, Whisperers and Rustic Dream on the outside. To the turn at the 800 off the back, Monet's Cove led Kentucky Blue 3/4. Master Jolly is third on the inside of Sandridge Bay. Cool Choice back 5th now, 1 further back in the field, Berkhamstad Suburbia. Mighty Way 3 deep around those, followed by Maximel and then King Ivor, who's a fair way back on the inside in an awkward place coming to the turn. Maximel outside him from Flak Jacket, Whisperers and Zaya as last when the Guineas field swept into the straight. A little over 400 to go. Monet's Cove, Kentucky Blue turn together in front of Master Jolly, Sandridge Bay. Cool Choice running on fairly, and then Mighty Way, and on the outside is Maximel. King Ivor's got into the clear, but he's spotting them a long start. Monet's Cove the leader from Kentucky Blue, and Master Jolly getting into the clear. King Ivor is finishing at a great rate, but is it too late? Monet's Cove has dashed 2 lengths in front. King Ivor is eating up the ground. He's coming home the best, King Ivor. A big win. King Ivor beat Monet's Cove.
On the inside, not well positioned at the moment, is the favourite King Ivor. Taken to the outside, Rustic Dream. Flak Jacket's a long way back with Whisperers and Zaya last of all as they straighten over. It's Kentucky Blue, and over on the inside, Monet's Cove together, a length and a half, Sandridge Bay and Cool Choice between horses looking for a runner. Master Jolly over on the inside, a good long way back in the field, Maximal. King Ivor well back as they come down to the 200-metre mark. We're over on the inside, Monet's Cove is still the leader, got clear in second place, Kentucky Blue, and King Ivor starting to storm home down the outside. It's flying. King Ivor on the outside. Coming at Monet's Cove in the final stage as they go to the line. King Ivor's won it from Monet's Cove. Good go for third, Kentucky Blue, and Maximal followed by Mighty Way. Cool Choice behind them, Flak Jacket. Zaya further back in the field, Master Jolly, Suburbia, and a long gap back behind them is...
Pretty grim after a slow start and a checkered run, but King Ivor proved his worth.
He's just learning to race properly too. He's a really nice colt. He's well bred, and he's, you know, I would say there's definite improvement in him. Now he could make into a very nice horse.
King Ivor gave Mick Dittman his second Guineas victory 11 years after Shankhill Lass. It was the Sydney Quinella with a 100-to-1 shot Kentucky Blue third.
Broke a run of out yesterday with King Ivor, Max.
Yes, King Ivor scored most impressively in the Sandown Guineas. Keith, I thought it was a substandard field, but I do think that King Ivor's got a future. I don't think a race like the Epsom at Randwick would be beyond King Ivor. Had to overcome a few hiccups in the run, but by gee, I thought he went to the line well and is obviously a very promising horse.
Yes, strangely, Max, this Sandown Guineas has unearthed some great horses over here, some of the best of our performers. Yesterday, King Ivor, who's a big lump of a horse, missed the start from an inside gate. He seemingly gave them an impossible start. He looks certain to be runner-up to Monet's Cove, but, gee, I think you're going to see a horse of the future here.
Yes, well, after 10 outings, 4 wins, and now set for a spell. King Ivor, let's watch.
Valence was a warm favourite. Count Shivers was attempting to join only second wind in 1931 as a dual Sandown Cup winner.
For a start. Line good, and they're racing. And Count Shivers began well near the inside with Royal Snack out quickly in Court of Honour. And just in behind them, Gake War, followed by Valence and C2 Bridge, and behind them, Super Slew is crossing towards the inside, being followed by Noble Ben Barra. Down the outside, Fewer Chosen, Circles of Gold and Sharon Tessa. And Royal Snack are the last two. C2 Bridge
to go. C2 Bridge now a length and a half in front of Fewer Chosen, ridden up second. One away to Count Shivers, travelling third. Circles of Gold outside him. Court of Honour Marshall makes him go around the outside, followed by Super Slew. Valence ridden along to make some ground, coming to the outside, and then Royal Snack, Noble Ben Barra, Geikwar and Sharon Tessa. Cedo Bridge first for home. Count Shivers along the insides, coming after him when they balance now, and then Fewer Chosen, Circles of Gold. Valance still a fair way back with Royal Snack getting up on the inside at the 250 metre mark. Here comes Count Shivers with his big weight to tackle Cedo Bridge. Royal Snack bursting through, and then Super Slew. Valance on the outside from Circles of Gold. It's Royal Snack and Count Shivers. Royal Snack and Count Shivers, with Royal Snack going home a shade the better with his lighter weight, and Royal Snack wins it from Count Shivers.
Ben Barra, Sharon Tessa as they race up towards the home turn, and Gate War is commencing a move at the 600 metre mark. C2 Bridge has got away. C2 Bridge about to be tackled by Count Shivers down the outside. Then Fewer Chosen. Royal Snack finishing fast along the inside. Deeper on the track is Valence as they run to the 200. Count Shivers over on the outside has got his head in front here. Royal Snack getting up along the inside is finishing on. And deeper on the track is Circles of Gold. Royal Snack over on the inside takes the lead from Count Shivers. Royal Snack in front, close to home. Royal Snack wins the cup from Count Shivers. Third home in the event is Circles of Gold, followed by Valence, Super Slew, Court of Honour. Then further back in the field, a Fewer Chosen, followed by C2 Bridge and Sharon Tessa. Well back, Noble Ben Barra, and a bad last is Gate War.
Caller is Sport 927's Brian Martin.
Bridge wider out now, Valence getting a run. Super Slew and Royal Snack is pushing through. Count Shivers in front. Royal Snack getting up on the inside of it. Circles of Gold wider out. Royal Snack has grabbed Count Shivers and Circles of Gold. Royal Snack in front and Royal Snack a half length. Count Shivers a half away third. Circles of Gold.
Ridden by Rod Griffiths.
It was a rejuvenated Royal Snack's biggest win and a third Sandown Cup for trainer George Hanlon.
I think he's racing as good as ever, or better.
Yeah, what about Hong Kong, George?
Well, he was an emergency, but I found out yesterday he's been picked to go.
I was lucky enough. I was probably the best trained horse in the race, and the horse travelled up.
Count Shivers will meet Royal Snack again in the Hong Kong Vars with a weights pull of around 5 kilos.
I've taken a couple of horses up there, and I think he's probably the best chance we've taken up there. In the form he's in. Seconds in the Melbourne and Sandown Cup. I think he's one of the best representatives that's gone up there, really.
Australia will have 2 worthy representatives in the 2400 metre Vars early next month. The favourite Valence today unplaced at 15 to 8.
But he won it on Count Shivers last year, and yesterday he beat Count Shivers on Royal Snack. It was the middle pin of a winning treble for Rod. Both the Quinella horses, Count Shivers and Royal Snack, are heading off to the Invitational Vars in Hong Kong on that 8th of December, and on that occasion Count Shivers will meet Royal Snack 3 or 3.5 kilos better. They might reverse the placings yesterday, but take nothing away from Royal Snack yesterday. The horse had won the past 4 runnings of the Moe Cup. George Hanlon had won this race, the Sandown Cup, with our Pompey in 94 and with Owen in the 80s, so it was a well-deserved win yesterday.
How, Keith, how can it win? It's an 8-year-old. George Hanlon is a freak. Why has he got to be a freak and knock out a good thing? Why has Royal Snack got to come along the rails and beat a real good
yesterday,
thing?
Keith?
That's lighter weight was the relevant aspect. 60.5 in a Sandown Cup. One hell of an equaliser, but Stephen King did such a magnificent job on Count Shivers, rode it to perfection, got out at the right time, went at the right time, and it was just that training freak, George Hanlon, that's been able to get an 8-year-old this good on the day to charge up along the inside. Full congratulations to Rodney Griffith. Another fine ride, but why did it have to be yesterday in the Sandown Cup, Keith?
Well, I agree with everything you said there yesterday, Max, but I can't sympathise with you. I think the win was deserved. Lee Freedman...
I'm not saying it wasn't deserved.
Wait, it's hard to win any race, let alone a Sandown Cup.
Cummings hopes to weave his magic in Tokyo tomorrow afternoon. In the Rich Japan Cup, Cummings lines up Saintly, which over the past few days has been solidly supported. Adrian Brown previews the race.
The final workout for horse and jockey. Far from home, but not without friends.
Devoted fans from Sydney hoping for divine intervention. A trip paid for by winnings from Saintly.
We love the horse to death. It's done a lot for us. It's taken us here and another part of the world, and we're grateful.
Also grateful, Saintly trainer Bart Cummings, drawing lucky number 5 for tomorrow's start, the same as the barrier draw for the Melbourne Cup. And welcome news for Darren Beadman. Japanese punters are expected to wager more than $300 million on the Japan Cup. Much of that money will be on the racing aristocrat Halicio, reputedly the best horse to come out of France in 30 years and the winner of 6 of its last 7 starts.
Outstanding horse. Saintly, I'm afraid, has got no chance against a horse of such class as Halicio.
But then a few Australians here are out to prove the pundits wrong. Count Saintly among them. According to the Saintly camp, on its present form, it'll take an exceptional horse to beat the Australian thoroughbred here tomorrow, but then Saintly will be up against the world's best.
All sickness. Keith Hillier is in Tokyo.
The news sent shockwaves through the Australian camp. Early this morning, trainer Bart Cummings was left with no option but to scratch the champion 4-year-old who's had a recurrence of that travel sickness that rocked him when he first arrived in Tokyo last week.
It was far too long a trip, and it's now taken its toll, which is most unfortunate because he would have been a great ambassador for Australia.
Just last night, jockey Darren Beadman told me Saintly was going better than when he won the Melbourne Cup on the first Tuesday in November. But overnight, things turned sour for the Saintly stable when the 4-year-old began showing the ill effects of a marathon flight last week. Stable foreman Nigel Blackerson was in tears when he discovered early this morning that Saintly was scouring and in pain. In fact, we're all shocked and saddened that Saintly can't run in this $5 million race for Australia.
He's been so bright and healthy over the last week. He's done everything right. Darren Beadman got off him the other day and said he feels better than he did going into the Melbourne Cup, so we were quietly confident. So it's been a real downer.
Saintly is likely to spend the next...
The race fans watch as the horses are positioned. Usencio going to its gate. Strategic choice, fitted in blinkers. Halicio going in now. Moving in well now. Singspiel clear the front, and they're racing in the cup. They've come away in a good line. Strategic choice, bounce quickly. Fabulous La Fuane and Bubblegum Fellow dropping behind Taki Fortune. Out wide here, Kanetsu Cross. The Japanese horse is going to go to the front. Kanetsu Cross to lead a length and a half. There goes Halicio up second on the inside tyre, about 8 lengths off the front. Usencio out 3 deep, 2 lengths further back a wide. Further back in the race then, Sakaru Keizano, followed by Flag Down. Dance Partner is out 4 and 5 wide. 2 lengths further back, Hishi Natalie, and 2 lengths last of all is Go Go Z. As they race now to the 800-metre mark, Kanetsu Cross about 3/4 of a length in front. The Arc winner has had an easy run. Second, Halicio a length further back, then Fabulous La Fuane. Then the Europeans gone up 4th in the centre now. Strategic choice further back in the race, then Bubblegum Fellow as they come to the home turn now, straightening up Kanetsu Cross. From on the outside, Halicio joining in. Strategic choice out wider in the running now and getting a run through and starting to come home pretty well. Being over on the inside is Fabulous La Fuane as they spread across the track, and here comes Singspiel and Dance Partner out wide. Singspiel in the centre. Strategic choice from Halicio. Fabulous La Fuane. Totori's got Singspiel in front. Fabulous La Fuane coming again. They're fighting the Japan come out. It's Singspiel ahead in front. Fabulous La Fuane coming again. Singspiel just in front. Singspiel wins the Japan Cup. Ahead left Fabulous La Fuane, a photo third. It's either Halicio or Strategic Choice. Watt got home on the inside. Further back Hishi Natalie. Then Taki Fortune. Further back in the race thing came on the outside. Would have been Pentire again, then to Flag Down. Go Go Z. Well back in the race, Usencio. Then came Kanetsu Cross. Dance Partner never...
57,000. It was to be England's day. Frankie Dettori on Singspiel.
Dettori's got Singspiel in front. Fabulous La Fuane coming again. They're fighting the Japan come out. It's Singspiel ahead in front. Fabulous La Fuane coming again. Singspiel just in front. Singspiel wins the Japan Cup.
Dettori, who cancelled plans to ride at the Melbourne Cup Carnival, will compete in Australia in January, captaining a team of the world's best jockeys from 5 countries in a series of races at Randwick, Caulfield, Flemington and Moonee Valley. The winner, Singspiel, a widely travelled Irish-bred 4-year-old. He's won at England, Canada and Japan at his last 4 race starts. There was a dead heat for third between Strategic Choice and the Arc winner, Halicio. Sam Hyland's return to the...
Keith, I'm sure it was the most deflating announcement I had of the year, because we thought that Saintly was going to do so well, and to have him withdrawn at that stage, by gee, it was a belt up the backside.
Well, scratching for the race taken by the punters in Japan.
Everyone went flat, David. We really, on the morning, in the first breaking of the news, didn't feel like going to the...
Summer Racing Carnival has attracted some spring carnival talent, much of it in the Group 1 Fruit and Veg Stakes, but it was a...
Summer Carnival, jockeys, horses and racegoers alike braving the damp and blustery conditions. WA's first Group 1 race of the year on the card, the Fruit and Veg Stakes. The weight for age race was billed as a clash between three mares, the WA-owned Miss Margaret and the interstate contingent of Alcove and Circles of Gold. With Shane's eye aboard, the Peter Hayes trained Chrysler Stakes winner Miss Margaret was the favourite for the 1800-metre events. Supported of the locals, Brad Sun and Summer Bow.
100, beautiful Zoe leads the field from Brad Sun, a length and a half to Victory Dash, beautifully placed inside Circles of Gold. Then Clever Jev being closely attended by Mercurial Madam. Over on the outside, Unpretentious going up to sit outside of Summer Bow, and Alcove is poking up near the fence. Irish Rod has got Miss Margaret held up between horses. Di had to kick her up there and try and get her on the bit, but she copped a bit of a prat now, and she's off the bit, being hard ridden. Over on the inside then, Sovereign Kite, Powerful Prince and Quadribadonte at the 600-metre mark, and Beautiful Zoe's the leader from Brad Sun, and they're starting to quicken. Preble's off now with Circles of Gold going up 3 deep, and Victory Dash is looking for a run. In behind them, Clever Jev getting off the fence from Mercurial Madam, and deeper out now round the corner, Unpretentious, Summer Bow and Alcove getting up near the fence. Something's gone amiss with Miss Margaret. She dropped out to last around the turn. At the 300, Brad Sun hit the lead. Victory Dash gets out. Then came Circles of Gold. Beautiful Zoe's battling back on the fence. Circles of Gold, Brad Sun, Beautiful Zoe, and now Summer Bow's working to the outside, coming with a brilliant run. Summer Bow and Circles of Gold, and Alcove on the fence. Summer Bow hits the lead though, and Summer Bow wins. Summer Bow scored from Circles of Gold and Alcove.
Home, but I thought they all ran a gallant race. You know, it's the best horse on the day, and you've got to give full credit to every other horse and rider in the race.
I didn't think he could get up and win at the furlong post, but he's just got that trait where he really tries to get to the line.
Yesterday before the race was that Miss Margaret was going to race very prominently in the Fruit and Veg Stakes, a $200,000 race, but Miss Margaret finished last. But a very good race. A couple of Eastern Staters took out the placings, the second going to Alcove, the third Circles of Gold, but the event went to a local.
Okay. Lightly raced Summer Bow. I think that was only his sixth start. He won the WA Guineas, and as Max mentioned, the Melbourne and Sydney mares, Alcove and Circles of Gold, fighting out the minor placings. In fact, the judge couldn't split them. That was a dead heat for second. He might be a pretty good horse, Summer Bow. He was well ridden too. The performances of Alcove and Circles of Gold would do nothing to detract from their Perth Cup chances.
I'd say Alcove might just about have a hoof on the till. It's a long time since she's won, Keith, but just judging by the manner with which she went to the line there, I'd say that she should be very hard to beat in the Perth Cup.
Well, Max, the grey quick flick.
Jockey Darren Beedman, after a string of wins aboard Octagonal, then Saintly, he's teamed with Monopolise to pull off a rare racing double. For the second year in a row, the Graham Begg-trained sprinter has won the Hong Kong International Bowl, one of 3 rich races today at the world-famous Sha Tin track. His latest run in Australia had been good, but Monopolise hadn't won since his previous visit to Sha Tin 12 months ago. He faced a strong international field, including 2 other Aussies, Ron Quinton's Mamselle Padrille, which had no weight, and Mick Dittman aboard, and the Gay Waterhouse whiz All Our Mob, who wasn't well weighted and never looked at home, mainly because he wasn't. Monopolise began slowly from barrier 2 and was trapped on the fence a long way back before Darren Beedman patiently found a rails run, which everyone, even the caller, seemed to miss. He's in the black shirt with red cap moving into 4th.
Dejima Mateki went to the front. 300 metres left to go. The Japanese horse, Dejima Mateki in front, but here comes the hope of Hong Kong. Legree winds up Michael's Choice and Monopolise. Monopolise and Beedman on the fence. Tagula running on. Monopolise burst through. Monopolise, Dejima Mateki hit the line. All close.
Monopolise in a photo from Dejima Mateki with Michael's Choice third. It was a great day for Australia, if a little frustrating for Damien Oliver. He kicked Royal Snack into second place behind brilliant English stayer Luso in the Vase, and he did it again on Seascay in the 1800-metre Cup.
First Island took the lead from Benji. Seascape running on. First Island in front. Seascape out of the pack, trying to reach him. First Island responding. Seascape cutting him down with every stride, but the post too close.
First Island, another English horse, was the raging favourite. Seascape second. New Zealander Kingston Bay was third.
New Zealand owners and breeders, because it heralds the first of the classics for the new term. The 1,000 guineas is always a good barometer of the quality of the new season fillies.
Out wider, Ultimate Fun's done a bit. Groundless Threats has to get around that and further out to Tartan Bell. In behind them, Gold Cloud, Pavilion heads the rest. Aim to go, Dame Clay, Bebopalula as they race inside the 400. Emerald says go, comes clear by 2. Bubbles trying to track it down. In behind them, Groundless Threats and Tartan Bell. Femdor, Ultimate Fun and Sorwadi, then Dame Clay. In front is Emerald, 3 lengths. Bubbles not closing. 80 metres to go, and it's a Jim Campen winning the guineas once more. Down to the post it comes, and it's easing, but it's won by half a length over Bubble.
Some real classic breeding here, with Emerald being by Sir Tristram's leading sire, son Grosvenor, from the former high-class filly Jennifer Rush. Emerald was bred and raced by Jim and Jennifer Campen of Chequered Stud, and is trained by John Gunnop. 4 days later, it's the boys' turn in the 2,000 guineas, and those blue and pink colours of the Campen family were to the fore again.
Round the turn for home and the 2,000 guineas, 500 to run, and the Red Express has looped them. The Red Express has gone right up on the outside of Genuine Strike. Heroes up against the rail. Right with them, Batavian, he's starting to show his superiority. Look at him, put his head down and come clear. Now coming after him is Hero. In behind them is Rebel, and down the outside, Respect Me, these 4, and Bubbles not done with, but it's Batavian putting his head down, and Hero's making a race of it on the inside. They go towards the post, and it's going to be Hero, and it's a heroine that has won it. Kathy Tremaine's won both Guineas races.
Hero created history for the Campens, as no owner had ever previously won the 2 guineas in the same year. Both Emerald and Hero were ridden by the accomplished Kathy Tremaine, who has forged a strong link with the Campens and John Gunnop. Hero was the first foal of the Campens' 1990 New Zealand and AJC Oaks winner Domino, a daughter of that marvellous classic influence Grosvenor. The next step along the Group 1 trail for 3-year-olds takes place on the North Island at the Otaki track, where the Levin Racing Club conducts its Bayer Classic meeting. Enormous attention centred on the rising star O'Reilly, an unbeaten son of top shuttle stallion Last Tycoon and the 1989 Golden Slipper winner, Courtser.
And Bondi Boy is last in the Bayer of 96, 600 to go. It is Tough Call a length in front of Trans-Siberia and Festival Time. Rebel goes forward. The next Kerry Grande outside of O'Reilly. They're waiting for the false rail. Quality Ace deeper out as they turn and go for home now. And Tough Call in front. Out wider Rebels coming after it. Then Festival Time. O'Reilly's into the clear with Kerry Grande, and High Returns getting home strongly. O'Reilly at the 200 going after Rebel. Wider out, High Return is getting home with a rush. O'Reilly, Rebel, High Return out wide, trying to get them all. O'Reilly gets the Bayer. O'Reilly's lasted to beat High Return and Rebel.
As we'll see later in the Australasian racing year, we certainly hadn't heard the last of the well-named O'Reilly. Meanwhile, the older gallopers begin their Auckland Cup preliminaries at Avondale in early December with the running of the Group 1 FAI Avondale Gold Cup.
Into the straight, 400 metres left to go in the cup and in the bull, and Lord Majestic from Royston. Regal Chief not far away, Prince Zephyr, Go Vicar, and down the outside, Love Dance with the Lions Roar looking for racing room. Royston at the 200 metres hit the front in the cup. Regal Chief on the inner, they're followed by interval Go Vicar. Regal Chief on the inside of Royston, Regal Chief and O'Sullivan the master. Regal Chief has got the cup, second home Royston.
Another victory for experience over youth, as 7-year-old Regal Chief made amends for his neck second to Love Dance in the previous year's Avondale Cup. Regal Chief is by Vice Regal's ill-fated stallion son All Glory. He was ridden by Lance O'Sullivan and trained by one of New Zealand's master conditioners, Noel Eales. While watching Emerald's win in the 1,000 guineas at Riccarton, you may have noticed the second-placed filly Bubble getting home strongly. Bubble's pedigree represents something of a New Zealand national heritage, being by the great Sir Tristram out of the 1989 Japan Cup winner Horlicks. Bubble relished the step up to 2,000 metres when capturing the Group 2 Avondale guineas in early December. But her win forced jockey Lance O'Sullivan into a decision he didn't really want to make. With Lance maintaining the O'Sullivan family connection with Bubble, managing owner Rob McAnulty was forced to look further afield for a jockey for the impressive colt Great Command. In Sydney, he found a jockey called Darren Beedman.
And the leader is Cash for Ash, about to be tackled by Brush with Fame. There's about 4 lengths away to back in the saddle. On the outside, High Return. Then we've got Captain Moonlight, Hero's Return, ridden a patient race thinner. Then we've got one moving round the outside, Beedman with Great Command. Bubbles trying to go with them as the speed gets poured on, followed by River Rider. Homeward Bound in the Derby, now sponsored by the New Zealand Herald. Great Command out wide with big loping strides. May have hit the front from Captain Moonlight. Here's Bubble down the outside and River Rider, the extreme one. Down they come, Great Command in front. On the inside, Hero's Return. They're followed by Bubble, Captain Moonlight, Great Command, Beedman working overtime the outside. Hero's Return on the inside, Great Command. Great Command has got the Derby. Hero's Return second, Captain Moonlight third.
This was probably the most emotionally satisfying win in the impressive career of McAnulty, winning the most prestigious race in New Zealand and at Ellerslie in his hometown Auckland. This was Beedman's first New Zealand Group 1 victory, and his presence at Ellerslie underpinned the Auckland Racing Club's highly successful Derby Day.
The running of the Tui's Villiers Stakes, a Group 2 race of 1,600 metres. It carries prize money of $200,000. Race the Villiers with quite a number of chances. As you'd expect, it's a very, very wide betting affair. And the favourite on the tote is number 18, Noble Park, trained at Newcastle by Paul Perry. And he's favourite at odds of $5.80, a little better than 9-2 on the win tote. We've got to go to number 10 to find the second favourite. That's Classy Fella, who's showing $7. Running in the Villiers, and a little slow to move, Super Dane and Clayvonte. Magic Road is away brilliantly. Quick Flick is spearing through, and the grey goes straight to the front. Persian Flyer, Noble Park well back with Touch of Force, followed by Faience, and then Super Dane. A mile back in the field is Dragida in company with Clayvonte. Around the first turn at the 900 mark, and Quick Flick is the leader. Next Joy is running second, Stony Bay third, Magic Road fourth in the centre. 3 deep is Sprint By, a length away, Wave a Tree, and then Wakulash, followed by Brimstone, who's out 3 deep. A gap to the penny, followed by Here's the Prince. Moving forward very quickly now is Persian Flyer. Nozomi Express is in that bunch, followed by Touch of Force, who's never been on the track. Further back is Profit Taker. Classy Fella seem to get shuffled back a bit as they near the turn. Noble Park back with him, and then Faience, followed by Super Dane and Clayvonte and Dragida, the tail enders, as they come around the turn in the Villiers. Quick Flick the leader. Next Joy is in hot pursuit. Sprint By on the outside is going up to them quickly, followed by Stony Bay. Here's Persian Flyer putting in a big dash, and down the extreme outside is Touch of Force. At the 200, they're all over the shop. It's Touch of Force on the outside. Next Joy, Sprint By's gone. It's Next Joy and Touch of Force. Touch of Force on the outside grabs a narrow lead. Next Joy is coming again. Touch of Force going best, and Touch of Force overcomes a wide gate to win the Villiers. Next Joy second, Persian Flyer third, Dragida a huge run for fourth. Then Sprint By, Quick Flick, Nozomi Express, Super Dane, Brimstone, Wakulash. Here's the Prince next, followed by Magic Road, then Stony Bay, Noble, and the Penny is last in the Tui's Villiers Stakes for 96.
Final chance to check the form of Perth Cup hopefuls in this afternoon's CB Cox Stakes.
Contesting the Group 2 CB Cox Stakes. Alcove was sent out punter's favourite, local Boheed the sentimental one. And for Storm, a first look at Ascot on race day. Heading for home, the race was there for the taking.
Storm feeling the pinch, and then Boheed, stride by stride, Boheed's getting to unpretentious, and Storm, Boheed hits the lead, and Boheed is going to come on and win the CB Cox Stakes, a great Perth Cup trial.
Boheed winning first up from a spell, his experience earned at Melbourne Spring Carnival paying off.
The West Australian Derby is held on Boxing Day at Ascot and is another race with a rich history of superior winners. Increasingly, the fillies have been taking on the males in this 2,400 metre race, and with a substantial success rate.
500 to go, and Grey Jacamar leads a half a length. Summerbow, Fabulous going to third from Catalytic the inside, then Shades of Savile, Stylish Mahal as they corner, and behind them then Capricious Lass and Rexicon, in the straight 250 to go. Grey Jacamar the leader, a length and a half Catalytic, Summerbow's gone, running on Fabulous, Stylish Mahal, strikes swiftly, and Capricious Lass strikes swiftly, Stylish Mahal, Grey Jacamar and Capricious Lass strike swiftly, Capricious Lass, they hit the line, I'd say Capricious Lass, a no strike swiftly.
The winner, Capricious Lass, is by one of Western Australia's young gun sires, Carrier Smile, a former weight-for-age class sprinter who was bred and raced by the late Robert Holmes Accord. The Derby winner is from a tough American race mare named Capici, bought by... We observed earlier that the Group 1 handicap races over the metric mile are the toughest on the national racing calendar. The West Australian equivalent is the Railway Stakes, decided over 1,600 metres at Ascot on December 28.
They're being followed onto the home turn by Powerful Prince, Friend Sounder, Century Blazer, Siderian, Sovereign Kite, 4 or 5 lengths to Corporate James, Well Said Nico, Bold Fimmer, Num Sing drops out last on the bend, Go the Grey first for home, tackled as they swing now by Bold Extreme on the outside, and Bold Extreme explodes, 200 to go and races 3 clear, Go the Grey Bradson, then Bar Dreamer, Century Blazer wide, but as Bold Extreme well clear by 4, Century Blazer, Bradson and Bar Dreamer, but Bold Extreme wins the railway by 2.5.
Trainer Wally Mitchell has long been regarded as one of the best trainers in the West. The 1996 Railway Stakes was simply the latest testimony to his ability, helping elevate Bold Extreme.
Lucky ones. There was New Year's Day racing around the nation. First to Ascot for the feature event, race 6, the Perth Cup, over 3,200 metres.
Blue skies and a big crowd at Ascot. Top weight Bo Heed, the favourite for the Perth Cup. But Time Frame took the lead early and wasn't about to give it up.
Still 3 lengths, Regimental Tattoo. Here comes Bo Heed now. Can he peg back the ground? Time Frame, though, with 150 to go, still in front. He's going to try and lead all the way. Regimental Tattoo, then Bo Heed, but it's Time Frame's Cup. Time Frame is clear. He's going to win a Time Frame, a length and a half. Regimental Tattoo, second, third, Bo Heed.
To Moonee Valley and...
Hariba's brilliant. The 1997 Auckland Cup was notable for a number of reasons, but most significantly for the way it gave New Zealand pride an unexpected dent. Breeding classic horses and true two-milers was always regarded as New Zealand's domain. But here was a horse called Yobro, an Australian-bred, Australian-trained interloper. A disdainful Kiwi racing public sent Yobro out virtually unwanted at tote odds of 20 to 1.
Royston now starting to make its move as they come to the bend, just over 400 to go. Interval turns for home from Yobro on the outside. They're a length and a half to Regal, Chief the favourite. On the outside, Check That Style, but then we've got back on track out wide as Sapio. Royston down the outside, but Yobro, the Aussie Hope, has got the lead now in the Cup. Interval and Regal, Chief wider out. Capitane Cash is starting to sprout wings. Yobro's in front for Cooks, the Interval trying to kick back on the inside. Yobro in the DB Draft Auckland Cup of 97. Yobro and Grant Cooksey score.
It had been 69 years since an Aussie-bred horse dared to take New Zealand's flagship staying trophy. And the only reason that horse, Coronax, had travelled east was because he was blind in one eye and had been banned in his home country. Yobro, however, had all his senses and provided Rosehill trainer Kirk Roberts with his most important moment in racing. The Railway Handicap is New Zealand's biggest handicap sprint race and provides a strong support to the Auckland Cup Day program. As the big field thunders up to that short run to the first turn, you know luck is going to play an integral part.
Chosen Ace came next to Ensign, Newt, Wise Lass and Jazak, the tail ender rounding the corner though in the railway, and the leader is Kaylee, challenged on the outside soon after by Coburger. La Rosewa looking for a split straight clip down the outside, followed in behind them Ballroom Babe, but Coburger's in front just now from Kaylee. La Rosewa crisp and clear and straight clip. Coburger, Matthew Williamson working overtime. Kaylee's coming back on the inside. Outrider La Rosewa, Kaylee on the inside, and crisp and clear, Kaylee, crisp and clear photos.
The Railway was clearly the most important of Kaylee's 13 wins in 3 seasons of racing. The 5-year-old is by former Group 1 winning speedster Festal, a son of former champion Vane. The Big Ellerslie Sprint was a milestone in the career of international jockey Lisa Croft, and her last big race achievement before taking a break to await motherhood. The winning trainer was Graham Richardson. The day after the Cup, the purists returned to Ellerslie for one of New Zealand racing's best programs, headed by the Group 1 Japan Racing Association Classic, a weight-for-age race over 2,000 metres.
So they race towards the 600 metres now in the Japan Racing Association Classic Group 1 event. The leader is Captain Moonlight. The 3-year-old cob by Grosvenor is out by a length and a quarter. Bialy, there's one moving round quickly now. Gold City as they swing the bend, followed Pakaraka Star, Lord Majestic Avedon. Further back to Mi Amigo, Silver Chalice and Sir Willie Montague. At the 300 metres, Captain Moonlight's holding Bialy. Pakaraka Star out wider. Then we've got Gold City. Is Avedon coming home pretty well. Captain Moonlight in front for Beedman. O'Sullivan working overtime on Bialy. Then Pakaraka Star, Silver Chalice. Captain Moonlight's holding Bialy, and Captain Moonlight has won from Bialy. Pakaraka Star third.
Captain Moonlight certainly enhanced the Derby form, having run a brave third to great command 8 days earlier. Full marks here to Darren Beedman, who rode the Grosvenor colt aggressively to make full use of the weight allowance for 3-year-olds. This win also precipitated a much bigger dividend than the $100,000 first prize. Captain Moonlight was subsequently sold to Hong Kong interests for a price that was reported to be around $750,000. The New Zealand Group 1 caravan then moves down to Wellington, where the New Zealand Oaks is decided on the spacious Trentham track.
As they run up towards the home corner here in the Oaks, 600 to go. Trisha Ann still in front, going okay. Second is Top Bracket on the outside. Arletty punched up to go after the leader now. Bayo Kakao the outside, back and behind them, Tiakau Lucy. Trisha Ann, Arletty's up onto the bit, goes up alongside now, a couple of lengths. Bayo Kakao and Sawad D to the outside's running a race. Bayo Kakao's got to Arletty. Sawad D on the outside, then Telfrey Lassen and My Time. Sawad D, Bayo Kakao is coming back. Sawad D for Chris Johnson. She'll win the Oaks.
The New Zealand Oaks represented a big step for Sawadi, whose previous best performances had been second in the Sovereign Lodge Stakes at Wanganui and third in the Group 3 Desert Gold Stakes. This was the second classic winner of the season for Checkers Stud's American-bred Deputy Governor, following on from the 2,000 guineas winner, Hero. Sawadi was ridden by Chris Johnson and trained by Shorty Howardson. Now comes one of the highlight performances of the New Zealand racing season. The event in question is the Group 1 Telegraph Handicap, a traditional and thorough test of speed. The horse to watch is the Bayer Classic winner O'Reilly, who positions up close behind the leaders in the blue, green and white colours of Gary Chettick's Waikato stud.
Further away then is Classic Royal with Matadoro and Wise Lass the last as La Rose Noir slips him at the 600. She links to the course proper about 4 lengths in front from Kaylee Meesanora the outside. Then we've got Kincape Lad O'Reilly between them, Jazak the inside. Wider out then we've got Moonlight's Coburgers looking to clear a bit of traffic. La Rose Noir, the rider's getting a bit anxious. Kaylee's coming out after it with O'Reilly. Wider out Moonlight's Coburger, Wise Lass getting up and behind them. He lets the brakes go on. O'Reilly's put a couple of lengths on them. Jazak runs on with Moonlight's crisp and clear, but oh yeah, he's class all right. And O'Reilly wins the Telegraph, second on an Oak.
This was a dominating performance from O'Reilly, proving himself to be a top-class sprinter and a worthy future stallion for Waikato. This was 4 wins from 4 starts for the son of international stallion Last Tycoon. Appropriately, he and his dam Courtsa descend from one of Waikato's most famous families, with close relatives including Al Pompey, Mixed Flush, Lost Valley and Hunza Court. O'Reilly retires to his birthplace in 1997. The 1997 Group 1 Wellington Cup was a wide-open affair, with as many as 10 winning chances. However, when the whips were drawn and nostrils flared, it was a familiar name that was carved into the Cup's roll of honour.
Edge right there, Beedman takes Bonsai Pipeline forward now. Del Coronado inside of Chuckershop, then Mac Robert. Behind them, Sapio's going forward. Pelican Brief Hand on the inside, Silver Chalice to Grey Mana. Sorayla 10, size 10, Capitain Cash and Richfield Destiny Ligero. And What a Hassle's last as they turn. Interval on the inside of Via Suez, who may have the head just in front. And here's Bonsai Pipeline. And head over on the inside of these. Chuckershot is getting home strongly strongly over on the outside as to Sapio. We've got Bonsai Pipeline. Ed and chuck a shot over on the outside. Ed's coming back at Bonsai Pipeline. Chuck a shot on the outside. Ed in front. L.A. O'Sullivan wins his first Wellington Cup, and Ed's done it twice in 3 years.
Lance O'Sullivan continued his amazing New Zealand Group 1 season. This was number 4 from the first 12 Group 1s decided. In fact, the Thornton Mile attracted a strong lineup, headed by international galloper VRC, runner-up to Saintly in the previous year's Australian Cup at Flemington. The favourite in an open race was Winning Wave, an impressive winner of the anniversary handicap at Triumphant 7 days earlier.
Then Rough Legend, Marquis and Happiness is last as they turn into Thornton. It's the Hyatt, the lightweight going for home. A length in front of my quota, Jazzak. The gap presented for that on the inside, followed through by Mahogany. White Tahadua, Winning Wave and Viali and Marquis to the outside. Jazzak in front here from my quota. Right around is Winning Wave, who's coming after them very strongly now. And then Viali, Winning Wave picking up Jazzak. Viali, Rough Legend, Winning Wave makes the transition to Group 1. She's a beauty.
It was good to see Frank Ritchie of Bone Crusher fame back in the Group 1 winners' circle, this time in partnership with his 24-year-old son Craig. Winning Wave had a luxury weight of 48 kilograms, a 10.5 kilo advantage over Viali. And this was the critical...
Hariba's brilliance has never been questioned, but the sprinter has always been injury-plagued, and he's not getting any younger.
On stakes at Caulfield, over 1,100 metres. Here are the closing stages.
And they're followed by Flavour, Holterman, Rancho's Q as they straighten up there across the track, and Spartacus is the leader. Still by a length and a half in advance of Elegancy, coming down the outside of Hariba and Flavour very deep is starting to wind up, and Sequalo getting up along the inside. Spartacus being tackled by Elegancy. Regal centre down the centre. Spartacus is still the leader with 100 metres left to go. He's going strongly. Regal centre finishing on down the outside. Spartacus just the leader from Regal centre as they go to the line. Spartacus wins from Regal centre. Flavour is third.
Two racing...
failing to match the 3-year-olds in his comeback race.
Spartacus a length in front, Regal centre picking it back. Spartacus a neck in front of Regal centre. Here's the line. Spartacus a half head, I'd say. Regal centre.
Spartacus.
So 3-year-olds filling all the top spots. Spartacus first across the post from Regal centre and Flavour. And as we mentioned earlier, Hariba never a chance.
Really well. All intact, winning today's Magic Millions race on the Gold Coast.
The $1 million race was billed as a 2-horse affair, and with all the hype of traditional New South Wales-Queensland rivalry. Mick Dittman teaming with favourite General Nadim for the home side, and with plenty of local support.
I hope they win. I hope General Nadim wins.
New South Wales riding with Darren Beedman and Dansbeat.
I think Dansbeat will beat the favourite.
Oh, I favour New South Wales against Queensland, Dansbeat.
It's almost like State of Origin up here.
Yeah, Marianne, a lot of excitement. The New South Welshmen up here trying to attack us.
Well, who's going to win?
Oh, no doubt, the Maroons.
On the radio this morning, I heard them say that it was Queensland versus New South Wales. I just hope it's New South Wales in front.
General Nadim got away from...
Dansbeat was in front for most of the race, but it was a victory for the home team in the end.
Nadim is the leader. My Halo broke on the outside, and Special Dame's coming fast, but General Nadim is in front with 100 metres left to go. He's got the millions, won the General, and home goes General Nadim to beat Special Dane.
Nadim easily justified his favouritism in the Magic Millions.
But it's the Magic Millions all over bar. The shouting at the 100 metres mark. General Nadim's well clear. Carol Love's running a great race from Special Dane, but it's 1 in a million. It's General Nadim.
An easy victory over Special Dane and the bolter My Halo broke.
Well, you weren't wrong, Peter.
No. Congratulations. Thanks, Pete. Great win for Queensland. One for the Maroons.
What a run.
Yeah, it was a great effort. He had an awkward barrier and a little bit awkward to go to, but, you know, he did the job like a really good horse.
General Nadim proved his win today. He looked certain to start the Golden Slipper as favourite.
And they've got big plans for Muawad. Ready to go now. Open handicap, it's Muawad drawn barrier 1. And they're racing. Muawad jumped in the air at the start. He missed it by a half length, and Marshall's having to ride him hard. Going quickly on the outside, Mother's Gift looks for the lead, but showing good speed. Stonyfell Road is going to hold it out. There's the North, 500 metres to go. The leader is Mother's Gift. On the outside, joining it now is Clear Mandate. 2 lengths away in third place came Cloche Merle. Just ahead of it, Stonyfell Road. Muawad at the 350. Hard ridden, 3 behind these leaders. Spycracker and now King Ivor down the centre is starting to sprint brilliantly. King Ivor. The North is following him. Muawad can't win for mine. 150 to go. King Ivor, Stonyfell Road. The North on the outside is still coming. It's King Ivor in front. The North is chasing him. King Ivor, the North. King Ivor just in front. The North lunges. Very close, King Ivor or the North, third placing Stonyfell Road. Muawad may have been held up, but he missed it at the start from Mother's Gift, Spycracker. Then Babu's Boy, followed home by... All in now for the Group 2 Challenge Stakes at 1,000 metres. Grande, barrier 1. Set to go. Grande looking to make it 13 wins from 14 starts. They're racing. Grande away well from the inside, showing speed also Moss Rocket. But Grande's ambled to the early lead from Moss Rocket. Outside next would have been, as they come around the turn, would have been Clang. Further back, Burrito. And Alpha is last. 500 metres to go. It's Grande a length in front in the challenge. Second is Moss Rocket the outside, then Legal Agent in the Tropics. Alpha's about 5 off the lead. Over the rise, Grande joined by Moss Rocket. Dye took a peep over the shoulder on Moss Rocket. Grande fights back at the 200. Moss Rocket, Grande. The chips are down. Grande, Moss Rocket, Alpha charging into third. Grande's come back at Moss Rocket. Grande's in front. This is a top horse, Grande. There's no challenge for him here. Grande 13 out of 14. Alpha flew for second. Moss Rocket third. Then came Clang, followed by Legal Agent, Burrito, and in the Tropics.
All still on racing, and champion galloper Hariba is believed to be fighting for his life after breaking down badly at track work this morning. The multiple Group 1 winner injured a suspensory ligament, and his trainer Ken Newman has not ruled out having to destroy the 6-year-old. Hariba, who has won $900,000 from just 10 wins, is in significant pain and cannot stand. Meanwhile, trainer Bart Cummings has dispelled rumours Melbourne Cup champion Saintly has broken down, but plans for Saintly to trial at Randwick tomorrow have been scrapped after he suffered a minor injury to his near forefoot.
Great time of the year for racing. We've got the Australia Day Stakes, or the Australia Stakes at Moonee Valley today, and Mahogany going for his 8th Group 1.
Are you tipping him?
Yes, I am. I think he'll win.
Max, I needn't ask you. We used to call you Mahogany, Max. No doubt you're tipping him today.
No, actually, Bruce, Mahogany was my favourites when he...
We used to call you Mahogany, Max. No doubt you're tipping him today.
No, actually, Bruce, Mahogany was my favourites when he was a younger horse. I think he's a bit difficult to catch today. I think Flavour will beat him.
OK, Flavour from the Hawk stable, the 3-year-old. Keith, on
Only the top weight, we haven't seen him since, of course, November 7, when he won the Linlithgow first up. A very, very popular win. They tried him on that occasion. Today, it's been a little bit easy in the ring, Brendan.
Yes, there have been a betting ring update shows that Mahogany is the favourite, but he has been an easing favourite. He's doubled his early quote, 6-4 out to 5-2. Actually, just about doubled his quote there. We see that in the market, as we mentioned then, Spartacus. Spartacus is just over the each way quote, but the money still comes for Flavour. I just see another fluctuation coming through. Flavour's nearly into 3-1 now here on track, and he continues to be heavily supported in the ring. He's in from 5s.
Racing. Came away in a good line too. Captain Lee dropped out after the start. First out here, Spartacus with the filly inside at Apple. Spartacus a half now neck in front of Apple Danish on the rail. 2 further back in the race, Regal Centre, who's third on the outside of Sequalo. 2.5 further back, running 5th is Mahogany. Then Flavour inside him from Del Sol. 3 out, 2 lengths to Captain Lee, and Star Dancer appeared to dip slightly there last of all. 6 appeared to dip slightly there last of all. 6.50 out now, and the leader Spartacus, 3/4 Apple Danish. Regal Centre third around Sequalo. Here's Mahogany putting in his run. He's about 3 lengths off them, about to come to the outside now by Dittman. 1.5 Flavour trying to get away from the fence from Captain Lee. Spartacus in front with Mahogany ranging up quickly on the outside. Apple Danish has gone from Captain Lee. The other struggling further back, Flavour. On the turn, Spartacus ahead in front, but Mahogany races to him now. Mahogany ranges to Spartacus inside the 200. They're clear of Captain Lee. Mahogany's got his head in front. Spartacus coming again. Spartacus fights back, gets his neck in front of Mahogany. Spartacus in front. Great performance. Spartacus wins a neck to Mahogany. 3 away, third Captain Lee. Flavour out late to run 4th. Further back in the race, Apple Danish. Then Star Dancer, Regal Centre, Del Sol, and Sequalo is last of all.
Group 1 race of the year, Mahogany sent out the easing favourite.
Spartacus in front, Mahogany about to challenge him, and Carptingly is breathing down Mahogany's neck. Spartacus and Mahogany turn together. Mahogany and Spartacus locked together, well clear now of Carptingly and then Flavour. It's Spartacus fighting back. He's got his head in front again of Mahogany. Spartacus, a mighty win that. Wins it a long neck, Mahogany.
3-year-old Spartacus smashed the record, unbeaten in 3 Moonee Valley starts now, winning the CS Hayes, Moya and Australia Stakes. And
going just straight off the scale.
This horse is obviously very talented. Rick's done a fine job in keeping him up to the mark. Weight for age over the short distances is a big advantage. He carried a light weight, able to dictate the terms in front, you know, slow them down a little bit early and had a hard last 600. Mahogany was a big concern, but the weight advantage with the 3-year-old had a big help, and I was able to finish it off a bit better.
You really must have been worried, though, at the top of the straight, because Mahogany did look to travel up so easily.
He did. He was a big concern. He travelled up good, and all credit to my horse. He dug deep, found plenty, and got the...
I guess it's taken a course record-breaking run to beat us.
Sparta 2, the Lightning Stakes in 3 weeks, the next goal. Mahogany was favourite, Carptingly 12-1. Big money for Flavour was astray. Race 6, the previously unbeaten.
And just in closing, Mel and Jen, it's been a trying week for Lee Freedman, and more bad news today. In Costa del Lago had a track accident this week, and he'll miss the rest of the autumn. Hopefully be back for the spring.
OK, thank you for that, Pete. Next up, Mike Lark.
The racing world was saddened today with the news that outstanding sprinter Hariba has been put down. It was hoped the mighty galloper may recover from a serious injury he sustained during track work last Thursday week, but after a veterinary examination last night, trainer Ken Newman's worst fears were realised.
Hariba's race. From the outset of his career, Hariba was hailed as one of the most sensational sprinters ever to grace Australian turf. His devastating power quickly earned him the nickname The Machine in racing circles.
He's a champion. Hariba will bolt in. He wins by 6 lengths. Spanish Mix is second, Scalacci
It
third.
was that performance that won him the racing public's heart.
He had a name and he just was an explosive horse. He was just something exciting to go and watch.
Joe McKinnon, 10 News.
Select quartet, brilliant horse, Grande is the odds-on favourite. They're off in the Expressway, came away in a nice even line. Brian York allowed Grande to amble over from an outside gate, and he leads on. They come up to approach the 600 metres mark in the Expressway. Grande held well together, led by 2.5 to Al Soler, 2.5 to Juggler, scrubbed along now, and Ravada on the outside is about a length away last as they turn the corner. Grande is in full flight, straightening up, led by about 3 to Al Soler and 2.5 to Juggler, who's running on well, but Grande's got a huge break at the 200 mark. He's 2.5 in front of Al Soler. Juggler starting to feel the pinch on the outside. Al Soler's holding him comfortably for second spot at the moment. Grande's in front 100 out. Al Soler is making a race of it. Grande feeling the pinch. Juggler's flashing on the outside, but too late. Grande has just fallen in to win the Expressway from Juggler and Al Soler, who ran a huge race, and Ravada last to the 4.
Max, what was the wash-up from that race yesterday?
Well, Brian York said that Grande was loafing. I didn't see it that way. I thought Grande had enough near the finish. I was a little disappointed in him in as much as he had it all his own way yesterday, yet he just staggered to the line, as you saw, like a horse like Juggler coming from behind on a track that favoured front runners. I thought that was the run on the race. Grande's very good. Winner.
2-year-old from Hayes.
Next race, another Group 2 and another field of just 4 starters. The Royal Sovereign Stakes, won by Sovereign State. A hands and heels finish by Kevin Moses.
Goes like a bulldog to the line. A big first up win to Sovereign State.
And Assertive Lass, too classy for the other fillies in Randwick's third $100,000 race, the Light Finger Stakes.
Assertive Lass put ahead in front. She's as game as they come. Assertive Lass beat Mother's Gift and Stonyfell Road third.
The 2-year-old from Hayes that won the first event on the program?
No, I missed that race.
OK, well, you're about to see it, and I think you'll be pretty impressed because this horse now is one of the favourites for the Golden Slipper.
Fashion Cafe on the rails in front of Blazing Aura, got about a half a length in front, and down the outside is Schubert. It's coming with a very strong run. He's joined in very quickly, Schubert. Put pay to them quickly, Dash 2 lengths in front now down to the 200. Dennis Sarai racing up past Fashion Cafe into the minors, and then Portland Prince, but all Schubert in the last 50 metres. Very impressive. Schubert wins it to lend it by 4 lengths on the post, Dennis Sarai. Photo third between Fashion Cafe, Soda and Portland Prince on the outside.
Colin Tidy, Max, the well-known bookmaker, said it was the best trial he's seen from a 2-year-old all year, better than General Nadim, obviously.
Yeah, the incredible part about it is, too, that Schubert is by Salieri, and Bart Cummings has had a bit of luck with the breed, too. But when Salieri gets a good one, by gee, they are outstanding. I just wonder, Bruce, we're getting one-race wonders, some of these 2-year-olds now, but Bart...
Ready to go. There's the light. They're off. Good start, too. Peep on the slide, one of the first to jump out with Celius, who began well with Quick Fix and Zuccarino. Just Sterling towards the inside. Gabel still last of all. Coming up towards the 750-metre point, Celius doing it nicely in the lead by length. Zuccarino now second. A length further back up on the outside, Hong Kwok Star, followed by Just Sterling. Then Quick Fix behind them on the rails. Istedad, Propose a Toast is out 3 off the fence. A length, Maguana. Peep on the sly, Arctic Scent got back to about 4th last. Cammy's Boy, Seasky and Jadiva Bell last of all as they straighten up. 400 metres left to go, and Celius being tackled by Zuccarino looks to be travelling well. Getting up on the inside, just behind them, Quick Fix is running on pretty well, and so is Just Sterling. And they're followed by Hong Kwok Stars. They run to the 250. Celius tackled in earnest by Zuccarino. Zuccarino, Celius fighting back. Zuccarino's got his head in front of Celius in the final 100 metres. Then Just Sterling, followed by Hong Kwok Star. Istedad coming home well when the race is all over. But Zuccarino wins it well on the line from Celius, and Istedad in a photo for second and third. They're followed close up further back there by Maguan, and back behind them Propose a Toast, followed next home by Peep on the Sly. Further away is Arctic Centre. Good long gap further back, Jadiva Bell. Just Sterling, Quick Fix weakened out of it, followed by Cammy's.
Then came Istedad getting up on the inside of Quick Fix, and then Propose a Toast. Peep on the Sly well back. Jadiva Bell is still last. It's Celius the leader with Zuccarino tackling near the 200-metre mark. Clear of Hong Kwok Star and Just Sterling. Celius tackled by Zuccarino. Zuccarino put his head in front. Hong Kwok Star and Istedad are running on well, but it's Zuccarino in front of Celius, and Zuccarino wins it from Celius, half a length. Istedad was a very good run in 3rd place, and then...
A wait for age next start in the Blamey Stakes at Flemington. That's Arctic Scent's next run before she heads to Sydney for the Cup.
That was the run. I mean, Zuccarino, Keith's a good Group 3er maybe, and maybe could win the Tokyo Cup in Adelaide, but Istedad's the one that I thought caught the eye, flashing home.
Yes, Istedad was fresh, and you'll see him storm home to grab 3rd placing. I think you've summed it up. Zuccarino the grey is fit, and he'll go for that Tokyo Cup in Adelaide, or be saved for the Blamey Stakes here in Melbourne a week later. Istedad, the horse to follow out of it, and I think Zuccarino...
listed debonair race at Sandown in Melbourne.
Lights on, they're on.
Trained by Bart Cummings, ridden by Darren Beedman. Alpha Racing in the orange colours started the very short-priced favourite, despite giving 2.5 kilos to the Clary Connors-trained Moorwatt.
The inside, Toledo the outside, 3 lengths Civil List. On its outside is El Tasman, scrubbed up to make a bit of ground again from Silverglade. Alpha Beedman pulls to the outside on him now, and then Willow Moore, and back at the end of the field, Dual Honour. 300 to go, Moorwatt neck Toledo, 2 Civil List. Here comes Alpha. He's starting to lengthen stride well. Moorwatt at the 200 has 2 lengths Alpha and Toledo. It's Moorwatt 150 to go. He's 2 lengths to Alpha. It's Moorwatt holding Alpha at bay at the moment. He might have just died on his run, and then Toledo, but Moorwatt, although tested mid-race, goes on to win by 1.5 lengths to Alpha. 5 lengths away third is Toledo.
Keith, I think...
They're starting to peg back Moorwatt, who's in front of the 200-metre mark. He got 1.5 lengths to Alpha, who's after him, but Moorwatt got 2 lengths in front. Alpha trying to make up the ground from Toledo. Moorwatt's finding plenty, holding Alpha at bay, and Moorwatt all the way, 1 length on the line, Alpha.
Yes, apart from the 3-year-old record, Moorwatt came within 7/10 of the track record held by Jean.
I don't know about Superstar, but he's a really good horse, and you know, as I said before, I'm so lucky to have the horse, and the trained horse like him, you don't get him very often.
Earlier, Moorwatt took his record to 4 wins in 5 starts, a satisfying win for his trainer, silencing a few critics.
I'm happy today he won, because I wanted him to win, because, as you said, he got a few little baggers from last start, and he shouldn't have got beat, he should be undefeated, but that's another story.
Bart was satisfied with Alpha, who remains on target for the Guineas.
I would prefer to have won, actually, but the horse will improve.
Moorwatt started 3 to 1. Alpha, slightly easy 10 to 9 favourite, with Toledo third at 4s.
About your horse's run, Alpha, a shade disappointing, or just right 2 weeks away from the Cadbury Guineas?
I think probably yesterday, I think probably underestimated the winner, and he couldn't possibly make up the leeway with the fractions they run the last 200 metres. So I think Flemington maybe with set weights would give us a better chance of winning.
We're watching two very good horses here. Bruce Moorwad was racing. He was challenged by Toledo in the straight. I've never seen a horse drop another one as quickly as it. He bounded away. Bart's Right 2 Alpha couldn't. It was time-wise impossible for him to pick up Moorwad. I think they're both exceptional, but I think Alpha will reverse the placings at Flemington in the Guineas. Do you think Moorwad will handle Flemington, Bart?
Well, he races up close in the lead, so really I think the way the race was run yesterday, it suited the winner.
Keith, weren't you there Oaks Day?
Well, I was there Oaks Day, but I mean...
he did win with a leg in there.
Yes, but he wasn't racing against Alpha.
Good horse won't handle Flemington.
Alpha will be able to pull Grande off him at Flemington, that's what I'm saying.
Alpha was a shade disappointed. Bart Cummings can get him ready on the right day, but by gee, Moorwad's going to be a worthy rival. And Keith, I got no worries about Moorwad at Flemington.
All right. Bralford's stablemate, Melbourne Cup champion Saintly, set for a return to racing next weekend in the CF All Stakes at Sandown. And this afternoon, trainer Bart Cummings decided to give the champ a special gallop. Saintly was joined by Lockray in the exhibition gallop over 1,000 metres. The Cup hero covering the last 200 in an impressive 10.73 seconds.
That's Lockray on his outside. Saintly runs the last 800 metres of this gallop in 47.99. What was absolutely amazing, his last 200 metres in 10.73. It'd win a weight for age race. He weighs 530 kilos, and that's a time. Australian Cup for him?
That's the plan, yes.
Will he clash with Alpha in that?
Too early to say. We'll make that decision after the Australian Guineas.
He's got 9 Australian Cups under his belt, Bart Bruce. He's going for what he did in the Melbourne Cup, double figures.
Do you think he'll improve, Bart? I mean, if he does improve a length or two, he might be one of the all-time greats, this horse.
He's not bad as he is.
No, that's true. You just want him to maintain it, I guess. But it's exciting when one comes along like this.
Yeah, you don't get them very often, Keith. Usually once in a lifetime. I've been fortunate to have quite a few, and this one I think's up with the best.
Well, we wonder how good Alpha...
One of the autumn carnival's potential stars, the Bart Cummings trained Alpha, has gone amiss and will be out until at least the spring. The Caulfield Guineas winner pulled up sore after track work yesterday.
The 3-year-old's permit to ride. Mick Dittman replaced him on the colt.
Now King Ivor being tackled by Tarn-Per Lane. Tarn-Per Lane ranges alongside King Ivor now. Tarn-Per Lane puts his head in front. He gets a neck in front, and Tarn-Per Lane draws clear in the run home to beat King Ivor by a length.
Tarn-Per Lane, the first of 4 winners for Greg Childs, proved too strong. He's been set for the Guineas at Flemington. King Ivor all the way. The first of the Blue Diamond Preludes, and Sydney 2-year-old Millward showed his class.
Sports leads by 2 lengths to Knowledge, and on the outside Millwood followed by Evader. Bradman dropping out of it. Sports at the 100-metre mark again, tackled here by Millwood, who with big bounds takes him to the front. Sports fights back, but Millwood wins it from a photo.
Millwood 3 deep all the way, but the big fellow looked good when he flattened out. He provided the first leg of a double for Darren Beedman. The fillies, though, looked more impressive.
Scandinavia inside the 200 is headed off by Rose of Danehill, but Lady of the Pines in turn is coming, and then Cornwall Queen. Rose of Danehill under the whip as the leader from Lady of the Pines. Rose of Danehill, a good win by a neck. Lady of the...
A $400,000 buy, Rose of Danehill had better luck today than on debut. She ran almost a second faster than Millwood. A good price for Rose of Danehill at 8 to 1. Lady of the Pines far from disgraced, giving the winner 3 kilos.
Since his race, during which time he became a very sick horse in Japan. But Cox Plate and Melbourne Cup winner Saintly is entitled to be a short price favourite for tomorrow's CF4 Stakes at Caulfield, according to the connections of a couple of his main rivals. Saintly will be looking to follow in the footsteps of 2 other Melbourne Cup winners of the 90s, which have returned to the track in sensational style in the Orr Stakes.
Melbourne Cup horses have done very well. I mean, we were very lucky to win it with Let's Elope.
Over 1,400 metres, core is John Russell. For cut up, rough and flavour going fast up on the outside, and they were being followed by Caplingley and Star Dancers close handy, a gap of about 3 lengths. Rubidium. Saintly is third last on Settling Down, being followed by Rubidium, a length and a half further back as Doremus as they come down the side, and Lockray has dropped out to last. Coming up towards the 700-metre marker, and it's cut up rough, moving up on the outside to take the lead from Regal Centre. Close in behind them, Flavour, a length further back as Caplingley, followed by by Star Dancer, a length and a half. Saintly on the inside of Rubidium. Lockray a second last, and Doremus is last of all as they commence the run around the home turn. Cut Up Rough is the leader. He's been tackled by Flavour on the outside. Regal Centre still there on the rails as they head for home. Star Dancer is next, followed by Caplington. Saintly's a fair way back, giving these leaders a tidy start as they run to the 200. Regal Centre over on the inside. Cut Up Rough and Flavour. They're clear from Caplington, followed by Star Dancer. And here comes Saintly down the outside. He's unwinding a big run. It's Cut Up Rough just the leader on the outside. Saintly, look at him come, the champion. He hits the front. Saintly, a big effort. Races home to a great win in the CF4. Saintly first, Cut Up Rough second, Star Dancer third, followed by Regal Centre and Flavour. And then came Captain Lee, Doremus, Rubidium, and last of all, Lockray.
Went to the lead at the 600-metre mark. A half Regal Centre still with the rail and Flavour right there with them. He's moving up 3 wide, 1.5 Carptingly, Star Dancer. Saintly is in an awkward place with Rubidium outside him coming to the turn. Lockray takes off. Doremus last. At the bend, Cut Up Rough the middle. Flavour the outside. Regal Centre turn in front of Carptingly. And then came Star Dancer and 2 or 3 lengths further back. Saintly spotting the leaders. 5.250 out. Regal Centre fights back on the inside again. Puts his nose in front of Cut Up Rough. Flavour on the outside. Then came Star Dancer. Saintly is lengthening, and in the last little bit, he's storming over the top of them. The mighty horse from heaven. Saintly has got up to win it from Cut Up Rough.
But the champ had plenty in reserve and stormed home.
And then Saintly laid down the outside of the adapt to put up a huge performance from there. It's Cut Up Rough, and on the outside, Flavour, and look at him come now. Saintly lifting, mighty performance, Saintly.
A great win to the lead they'd come to see today, had he recovered from the virus that prevented a Japan Cup start. At the turn in the CF4, a positive response looked doubtful.
And then came Star Dancer and 2 or 3 lengths further back. Saintly spotting the leaders, 5.250 out. Regal Centre fights back on the inside again, puts his nose in front of Cut Up Rough. Flavour on the outside, then came Star Dancer. Saintly is lengthening, and in the last little bit, he's storming over the top of them. The mighty horse from heaven. Saintly has got up to win it from Cut Up Rough.
A great win to the 4-year-old, and what a warm-up for his tilt at back-to-back Australian Cups. Jockey Darren Beedman leapt for joy, and trainer Bart Cummings couldn't have been happier.
He wins whatever you train him for, so not many horses, you can say, can win under those conditions. He got it, he certainly flew, and he's a real champion, this horse.
It was a comeback.
It was the run of a champion, turning certain defeat into victory. A collective sigh of relief swept Caulfield. The great horse was back, and Darren Beedman couldn't hide his delight.
A big relief. I think it's a relief for the racing industry itself. Australian racing, he's got a huge public following, and it's always nice, and horses for his calibre to come back, because it brings people back to the races, creates more interest, and he's a talking point.
Saintly's put in some huge performances, but this one impressed deeply.
This one was exceptionally good because he beat a sprint field and gave him a second start from about 200 metres out and beat him home, so that takes some doing. You've got to be a champion to do that.
How did you feel?
Yes, Saintly, just what the autumn needed, scoring at even money favourite into the St George in a fortnight, and then a crack at another Australian Cup for Saintly. And
It was a comeback double for Cummings, dashing
high-class galloper. In winning the All Stakes, Saintly emulated the performances of Attalac, Letzelo and Jean, who all won the Melbourne Cup before returning to score brilliant first-up victories at 1,400 metres. Tragically, this was the last...
It was a comeback double for Cummings. Dashing Eagle, returning at Rose Hill, started the Millie Fox Plate, equal 7-2 favourite.
Dashing Eagle has raced up to grab the lead from Seeker, 100 out, and the Eagle is flying away. Dashing Eagle came away to beat Seeker second. This is the eagerly awaited return of Falante, last Epsom winner, and narrowly beaten in the WS Cox Plate. Could be anything this time up. No, they're off, and Falante slow. He's a clear last to leave the barrier. Beginning very quickly is Magic Road, winning, and then Stork and Shame as last as they turn. Straightening up, it's Magic Road, the leader, over Winning Hand and Batwing. Then Secret Savings, followed by Montana Sands, Bruego, Legal Agent. Falante is coming right down the outside, and going with him is Shame. Magic Road kicked, he's more than a length in front of Secret Savings and Batwing, and then Legal Agent. Magic Road tackled by the American horse. Secret Savings hit the lead in the shadows of the post. Kevin Moses goes for home, and Secret Savings Kings beat Magic Road. Shame will get third in front of Legal Agent and Brawago, who ran a big race. Followed by Batwing, Celestial Choir, and then Stork, Falonte, Montana Sands. Well back is Rockahula, and Winning Hand has pulled up at the tail of the field.
And in New Zealand, veteran galloper Viandacross returned to the track after almost 2.5 years, finishing 7th today, but his connection's confident it won't be long before he's back in the winner's circle.
Viandacross gave them a...
Waikato Draft Sprint is the other feature on the International Stakes program at Te Rapa. And this year, it attracted a very high-quality field. Enormous interest centred on the return to racing of former champion Viandacross, the Australian Horse of the Year, back in 92-93. With other Group 1 winners, including Koberger, Ballroom Babe and Avedon, this was a high-class sprint field indeed.
Off the back, 700 metres out, and it's Ballroom Babe dictating the pace by 2.5 from Secret Admirer and Koberger travelling sweetly in second spot. Right there also Dom Daniel, then spanking at the 600, followed round by Straight Clip being niggled at. Viandacross midfield and travelling 3 wide. Batavian came next, followed by Classic Royal. There's making his move from the back. Wise Lass being tracked around by Crisp and Clear. They pack right up on the corner, then Avedon and High Return and Classic Chief. Homeward bound they are, 3:50 to go. Ballroom Babe tackled by Koberger. Viandacross is coming after them out wide. So too is Wise Lass and Crisp and Clear down the outside, and behind them Avedon. Many chances at the 200. Ballroom Babe in front. Here's Wise Lass and big bold Avedon coming through, and so too is Batavian. Avedon's got the lead for Chris Johnson. He's home. Look at High Return Storm home, but too late. Avedon's won the Group 1 Waikato Draft Sprint.
Avedon has been competing at the highest level in New Zealand for 3 seasons. Has always been a superior galloper, and left-handed Avedon had finished 4th in the 2,000-metre International Stakes 12 months earlier. Clearly, Derby hero Great Command had a quiet time after his game performance at Ellerslie. At Te Rapa, with no family commitments to get in the way, Lance O'Sullivan was able to renew his association with the Mike Moroney trained gelding.
At the 500 metres in the Whakanui Stud International Stakes, and the leader Lord Majestic. Great Command is poised to pounce on the outside. Out a little wider then is Hero's Return as they flatten, followed by Marquise, and behind them next Chase of Fortune and Quidado. 300 metres to go. Now O'Sullivan's now getting a little desperate on Great Command as Hero's Return ranged up alongside of it, and behind them Lord Majestic, then Quidado and Marquise. At the 200 Hero's Return, Great Command, he'll have to be everything that he is today. Lord Majestic's coming back as well, and look at Quidado, a great old go. Great Command's got his nose in front, he won it. Great Command, the favourite, got there.
Although Great Command won the 2,400 metre derby, connections believe he's a better horse at 2,000. The colt is by the 82 Golden Slipper winner and 2-time champion Australian sire Master, and is the most important...
It'll be most interesting to see how he goes.
The Australian Guineas is on again at Flemington tomorrow. It's being billed as a 2-horse race between Octagonal's baby brother Muawad and unbeaten New Zealander O'Reilly. And while
Muawad's impeccable reputation will be on the line in tomorrow's Cadbury Guineas, his debut over 1,600 metres. To help ensure he goes the distance, trainer Clary Connors has stripped 20 kilos off the chunky colt, a tactic that's prompted concern from the opposition.
I hope 20 kilos off his stomach doesn't equate to 20 kilos off his back, because he's going to be nice and hard to beat.
And of course, he always worries me that he's a little bit big in condition, and he goes into a race because he's a thick-set type of horse, and I couldn't be more happy with the horse.
Welcome to the track, and first up we're going to see the Group 1 Australian Guineas from Flemington, Melbourne's premier racecourse, and what a field it is. Not a large field, but quantity mightn't be there, but the quality certainly is. TAB number 1 is Portland Prince, the Victoria Derby winner. He's a 14-to-1 chance, or $15 on the tote. Remember, these are Victorian TAB prices, about $5.50 on the Super Tab. O'Reilly from New Zealand has had 4 starts for 4 wins, and there's plenty of Kiwi money here to support him, and he's showing at $4, fraction better, $4.20. Silver Glade, Octagonal's young brother, he's raced 5 times for 4 wins. Today is his big chance for a Group 1 success, between $2.20 and $2.10. I can't. Haven't got any.
Tarnpool Lane began nicely. Morewater was away quickly on the outsider, and they were followed a bit further back by Portland Player, and tailing out to last is Silver Glade. Morewad's gone straight to the front at the 1400, led by past the 1,000 metre mark, and Morewad doing it well in the leader. About a length to Regal Central, length and a half further back as O'Reilly nicely positioned. He's over on the inside, and they were followed closely then by Tarnpool Lane, who's a bit further back, followed by Portland Player as they come by the 800 metre marker. Further back then is King Ivor, and last of all is Silver Glade, nearing the home turner with 700 metres left to travel. Morewad held together by length on Regal Centre. Tarnpool Lane around the outside of O'Reilly, a length and a half further back. Portland Player followed by King Ivor. Silver Glade is last as they straighten up with about 500 metres left to go on the Cadbury Guineas, and Morewad is the leader. Coming down the outside, Tarnpool Lane, and now O'Reilly's in the clear and running on strongly as they come to the 300. Morewad is the leader, being tackled by O'Reilly, who's trying to get to him, but Morewad is nicely clear, coming to the 250, a length and a half to O'Reilly. Tarnpool Lane is back behind them, Portland Player, but Morewad has increased his break. He's gone further ahead, Morewad. O'Reilly in second place, followed by Tarnpool Lane, but it's all Morewad. He's much too good and is going to bolt him with the Cadbury Guineas. Morewad came away for a brilliant win, won by a length and a half O'Reilly. Tarnpool Lane is third, followed by King Ivor, Portland Player, second last Silver Glade, and last of all Regal Centre. Well, he's story of that.
Tarnpool Lane, the first one to ease out, 3 wide now. O'Reilly getting up behind the leader into the straight. There's a gap there, and he's got out O'Reilly O'Sullivan now at the 400. Morewad in front, O'Reilly challenging. Tarnpool Lane wider out, and then King Ivor. Morewad at the 300 getting off the rails, but he's 2 lengths to O'Reilly, and then Tarnpool Lane. King Ivor is struggling. 150 to go. Morewad's gapped them. He's raced 2.5, 3 in front now from O'Reilly and Tarnpool Lane, and it's Morewad. He's too good and all the way. Morewad wins the Guineas by over 2 lengths O'Reilly.
Here are the final stages.
But he extends Morewad. He's put 2 on them. Oh, he's a good colt. He's gone 2.5 O'Reilly. Tarnpool Lane and King Ivor are far too good. Morewad sparkling like a diamond. Down to the line, Morewad wins the Guineas.
Yes, the younger brother.
I thought she was a great little champion for 3-year-olds at the time. Ter's come along, he was the best 2-year-old of his year. He was the highest weighted 2-year-old ever. This horse is more brilliant than him. He's more adaptable, you know, and you haven't seen the best of this horse yet, I promise you.
We've had the Big O, now welcome the Big M. A win that meant plenty for trainer Clary Connors. He's openly stated this is the best horse he's trained. The pressure on him to have Morewad live up to the rap has been immense. So much was expected of the brother to Octagonal, purchased for $400,000.
You know, he's a pretty special horse, you know, he'll do all sorts of things, and I wanted to go through his whole racing career unbeaten, and he got beat one day and upset me. So I've got to go from now on. I don't want him to get beaten again. I'm very greedy. I don't want him to get beaten again, because he shouldn't get beaten, because he'll be, if you look after him and put him in the right races, they won't beat him, because he'll be too good for most horses.
Could he beat Saintly in the Australian Cup?
Well, Saintly's a very good horse, you know. Saintly's a champion, but you give him a run for his money anyway.
So where to next is the question for Morewad. Options include tackling Saintly in the Australian Cup or returning to Sydney for the Doncaster. And worth remembering, Clary says we haven't seen Morewad's best yet. O'Reilly's second, a game effort, did have a pre-race blood irregularity.
You saw a very good horse yesterday. The Big O's brother, is he the Big M, Morewad?
Yeah, I think he is. He is the Big M, and he's really is an excitement machine. Bruce, Clary Connors was moved to tears at Flemington yesterday, and everyone else at the track was moved to applause, because the Big M, Morewad, did it at both ends. He had speed to lead, and he had stamina to draw away from a pretty smart galloper, the New Zealander.
It was a pretty good run. Keith spoke with Clary Connors after the race, and he was very emotional through the screen.
And get a little bit of stability on this subject. Keith said that Morewad was used up early. It was run at a very slow pace. It was put on for Morewad. Morewad is an outstanding racehorse, but yesterday, the sections, the tactics of the race, perhaps the pattern of racing, it did suit Morewad. And if you think Clary was emotional there, you ought to see him after he wins a golden slipper.
Well, he's won that a few.
Third dividend. In the $150,000 Blamey Stakes, Zuccarino just got a nose in front of Salius.
Coming out after her, it's Zuccarino and Salius drawing away now from Angel's Image, and then Estadad. Zuccarino and fighting back as Salius on the inside. Zuccarino ahead in front. Salius won't give up. Estadad late. Salius, Zuccarino, they hit it. Oh, it might be Zuccarino and no, Salius.
Hobson's line.
Salius 5-2 favourite.
At the 200, being tackled now by Zuccarino on the outside. Wilkinson's pulls the whip. She's finding a bit today, Salius. Zuccarino taking a long while. It's Zuccarino and Salius. Salius is biting on tremendously. They hit at a bobber. Oh, very close between Zuccarino and Salius.
Zuccarino will continue in weight for age races. The Futurity, his next mission. Salius beaten a short half head, ever courageous. And Estadard looks primed for a win very soon. Race 7.
The brother to Moorwad. We saw Moorwad win the Group 1 Australian Guineas, and now we see his brother Octagonal try and win the Group 2 Apollo Stakes. But this is a star-studded field, and a clear-cut favourite is the Gay Waterhouse trained Juggler. I've got to confess, Juggler is at $1.60 on the tote, a little bit longer with bookmakers. I thought he'd be anything up to 3 to 1 on, and $1.60 seems a reasonable price. Octagonal, the big O, trying to find his old form, trying to find his form of last autumn, is at about $5.60, $5.50. Nothing Like a Dane at $8.50. Iron Horse
Stakes. Iron Horse the last in, and they're off in the Apollo. Juggler's jumped away fairly well. Circles of Gold and Iron Horse wide out is away brilliantly. Scooting 800 metres mark. Rivada led by 3/4 to Iron Horse. A length away Circles of Gold, given the run of the race by Leanne Olsen. Then Nothing Like a Dane, followed by Juggler on the outside. He's about 5 off the lead as they near the turn. Buzz Off is out 3 deep, under pressure. And then Octagonal pushed along by Beedman and Dupan as last as they come to the turn in the Apollo Stakes. Rivada with the inside running, joined again by Iron Horse and Circles of Gold, striding up to make a line of 3 as they turn the corner. Now Juggler's pulled out 4 and 5 deep as they turn for home, and Boss pops the question. Nothing Like a Dane is close to the inside rail as they turn the corner. It's Rivada, Circles of Gold, but his Juggler right out in the centre of the track, racing to them, and Octagonal is coming out of the pack. Juggler clear with 100 to go. Occy has run into second place, but he can't pick up Juggler, and Juggler scores a brilliant win, easing up in the Apollo Stakes. Octagonal second, Circles of Gold ran her usual bottler race for third, followed by Rivada. Nothing Like a Dane got into the heavier ground on the inside. Further back Buzz Off, followed by Iron Horse, and Dupan is last in the Apollo. Octagonal second, Circles of
14 wins now in 34 starts for Juggler, starting 6 to 4 favourite. Octagonal looks like he's going to have a good autumn at 7s, and Circles of Gold at 11 to 1.
Juggler yesterday. He's such a professional racehorse in the Apollo Stakes. He can quicken, and weight for age racing, it's the key, isn't it?
Yes, Juggler is a top-class racehorse, as he showed yesterday. He wasn't 100% wound up. He was far too good for his opposition, but the big O, Octagonal, he showed a glimmer of what he was, and if he can just spark on that run, well, he's going to make it very interesting in future races.
Max, he loves how he's running today in the big race in Melbourne, the Lightning Stakes. He's named after a Mafia figure. He's won 14 out of 15, and he's going to be a real attraction.
Walker and Strong Dream on the outside.
The wallet's got fat. The horse they call Splinter, but I think Mahogany's got the wood on him, Bruce.
Do you?
Yes, I do. Mahogany loves Flemington. He's won his past 2 starts there. They were the Lightning this time last year, and the Linlithgow in the spring. He's won 2 of 3 runs at 1,000 metres, which is unbelievable.
You haven't picked him a place, Max. Mahogany.
He's like Keith. He's a light of yesteryear.
Max is shilling on the side. More if you want it.
His first shilling, he's going to let it loose.
Neither about you, Keith.
I think you'll be hard to beat, Bruce, but there's a lot of speed on the race, and I think that Spartacus and Armadale will go with Grande. Greg called back on Mahogany.
They'll walk into line and they'll be set to go for the Lightning Stakes. Hutchie, your thought in a word? Who would you like to ride?
I think I'll go with Mark 2. Mahogany might just
prevail in the
it's going to be very close.
Sprint racing. Can Grande jump well? So did Spartacus. Mahogany just gets back a little in the early stages. Armadale ridden out of the stalls on the inside, shows plenty of pace to lead. Sequalo's up there in the early stages at the 800. Armadale is in front on the inside from Sequalo. Spartacus moving up on the outside. Just behind the leading 3 is Mr. Satisfaction on the rail, and Mahogany is posied up just behind it. Can Grande is next, following Spartacus, and then Cambridge Galaxy. Mox Rocket is settling well back in the field, and then Clang on the inside of Blazing Reality. Racing to the 400, Armadale on the rails just in front. Spartacus 3 out, coming at it, Sequalo in the centre. Then came Mahogany looking for an out. He's had to ease over Sequalo's heels. Can Grande on his outside might pocket him here. He's in trouble there, Mahogany. At the 200 metre mark, Spartacus hits the front. Can Grande's coming at him on the outside. Mahogany without a lot of room is trying to squeeze through. He's got through Mahogany. He pounced on the lead from Can Grande and Spartacus, and Mahogany, despite difficulties, draws draws away to win a length and a half from Grande and Spartacus third. Then Moss Rocket, who came from near the back of the field to grab fourth from Clang. Blazing Reality, Sequalo stopped. Mr. Satisfaction towards the end. Second last, Armadale. And last was Rich Galaxy.
Oh, he's a true champ, isn't he? This is Mahogany. We're looking at the moment. G Hall, another winner. And I tell you what, there was a real bumping duel between he and, of course, our visitor from interstate, whom we won't say too much about, Greg. But Kevin's got the upper hand here. Going to defeat the big grey. Now, have a look at this. Good shot. G Hall just never gave up at any stage, and this horse just bullocked his way through. There's not a lot of him. He's a champion, this little fellow, Mahogany. And a tremendous training feat from Lee Friedman as well, too, to get him up. We saw him on Cup, over the Cup Carnival. I was just about to say Cup Day, but we saw him over the Cup Carnival produced for that run down the straight.
And Michael Friedman joining us as Mahogany comes back down the race. Successful here at Flemington, and Michael, well, he certainly got the heart fluttering today.
Yeah, you can never ride him off, Brendan, in these sort of races where you just keep him fresh for them and set him for them, and, you know, like I said, you just can never leave him out of a race like that. And for luck, and, you know, he did that, and I thought he probably should have won by further because he nearly got knocked over at the 300-metre mark by Grande, but just shows you what a champion he is.
Very warm applause from the crowd on the fence here for a horse that's won 2 derbies and 2 Lightning Stakes.
There's not many horses that win 2 Group 1s at the age of 2 and they're still winning them at the age of 6.
No, it's worked out with Mahogany getting things underway in great style.
Yeah, no, he's a terrific horse. I wish we could have a few more of him.
Waiting for Hawley to do a star jump here, but he's not going to try it. Well done. Congratulations, Michael, and thanks for your time.
It's a great go now. Mahogany bursts through, grabs Grande and Spartacus. Mahogany does it again. Mahogany just over a length, Grande.
You haven't picked him a place, man. Mahogany. He's like Keith. He's a light of yesteryear.
How you going, Max?
I'm going all right. See, I am again...
Good morning, John Hawkes.
Yeah, good morning, Bruce. I am again the victim of the Melbourne Mafia here, because every time...
We did have a shilling on the side. He sent a penny. He sent a penny. Max, don't worry about it. Put the change in the great
Keith,
grandkids.
it's hard to find a shilling these days. You've got the first one you've ever had, so it's...
Look, John...
Since the Blue Diamond's inception in 1971, New Zealand will be represented in the $1 million 2-year-old event at Caulfield on Saturday. Coming into the race as a $50,000 late entry, Thriller boasts an impeccable record, being unbeaten in 4 starts. Consequently, the gelding is being touted as the dark horse of the field.
Since arriving...
He was It was most certainly the best field that New Zealand's put together in the way of 2-year-olds this year, and they didn't really cart him as far as we would have liked. And they all sort of wilted about 300 out, and Vinny had to say go. He put 4 lengths on them very, very quickly. And
Thriller's attempt to become the first Kiwi to win the Blue Diamond Stakes will be tough, with Australia's
Wood from New South Wales, he's showing at $9 on the tab. Thriller from New Zealand is at $10. Remember, these are Victorian TAB returns for $1 investment. Number 3 Sports is at $16. Le Mans from Sydney is at $34. Knowledge at $21. Schubert, the favourite, trained by Peter Hayes at Angaston in South Australia, is at $3.60. Aveda from Sydney, $15. Rose of Danehill, one of the big Lee Friedman team, and the best fancied of his runners is at $7.50. Lady of the Pines, a stablemate of the favourite, and I think she can win the race. First time in blinkers, I think she'll get a beaut run. She's showing us...
Great start in the diamond, and one of the first to jump out. Sports towards the centre, out very quickly also. Lady Lex is showing speed accumulation. Thrill to stride and come down to the 800-metre mark. Sports takes the lead a length and a half. Rose of Danehill over on the inside of Lady Lexus, followed by Thriller. A bit further back, moving into the picture, then is Schubert, being followed closely by Millwaters over on the inside. Accumulation just in behind them. Cornwall Queen, followed by Aveda. A length and a half, Lady of the Pines over on the inside, being followed closely by Befriend. And further back in the field, then is Cannon Song, followed by Knowledge, and Solaya has dropped out to last. On the home turn now, and Sports being headed by Thriller. And deeper on the track, joining in Accumulation, and very deep to Schubert, running on well, followed by Lady Lexus. In behind them, down the outside of Aveda. And they're followed by Millwaters a long way back as they come to the 250. Sports is the leader. Schubert coming down the outside. Rose of Danehill getting through in the centre, followed by Thriller deeper on the track. Knowledge and Aveda. But Sports is nicely clear from Rose of Danehill in the final stages. Rose of Danehill, and on the outside, Knowledge. Knowledge on the outside grabs them. Knowledge has got up to score from Rose of Danehill. Sports is third. Fourth is Schubert, followed by Lady of the Pines of Aveda. Further back in the field, a Cornwall Queen, followed by Le Mans. Then Millward, and further back, Accumulation, Cannon Song, and Thriller, followed by Befriend, Solaya. And last is Lady Lexus.
Le Mans, Knowledge is second to last, and Zelia at the 500 nearing the turn. Sports in front of Lady Lexus, Thriller out 3 wide. On their outside, Accumulation and Schubert about 5 wide coming to the turn. Then came Cornwall Queen, followed by Avada, Rose of Danehill back near the inside, and Millwood next, hard ridden and getting checked into the straight. Sports the leader. He's by 2 lengths to Thriller. Schubert called on for the run. Rose of Danehill getting up behind the leader. Sports at the 150 still has 2 lengths on Rose of Danehill and Schubert. It's Sports on the inside. He's in front by about a length. Rose of Danehill and Knowledge swamping them out wide. Rose of Danehill. Knowledge on the outside has got up and won the Blue Diamond from Rose of Danehill, and Sports should every chance fourth, and then came Lady of the Pines.
Your own, I've got to call it my home state now. I've been here 13 years. To win your biggest 2-year-old race here is a great thrill, really great thrill.
But he'll go further. He's a, now I'm not saying he's a Derby horse next year, I think, but he's definitely 2,000 metre horse as a 3-year-old.
The stable couldn't separate Knowledge and Rose of Danehill despite the difference in the betting ring. Schubert fourth at 11-4.
From the winners at the track, part owner Lloyd Williams had mixed emotions watching the race at Crown Casino. Williams said he was very, very disappointed that Greg Hall didn't ride the horse. Hall normally rides all of Williams' horses, but Friedman switched jockeys this week.
It's always hard in defeat for a guy like Greg. He's ridden the perfect race. He persevered for the split at the top of the straight and got it.
Knowledge Sport. The drama in this race, Bruce, went beyond the race itself. It was a race where 2 injured jockeys rode in it. Danny Brereton, who was being treated for a neck pain, nearly pulled the plug just before the start of the race. He won it. And Rodney Griffiths, who was beaten and unplaced on the favourite, later stood down from 3 rides and later found to have a broken wrist. There's also a story of 2 trainers, one who gave Rodney Griffiths a blast. Peter Hayes told him he slaughtered the favourite Schubert. That's the quote, he slaughtered it. And Lee Friedman, who copped a blast from Lloyd Williams, senior part owner of the winner, for not engaging his favourite jockey Greg Hall on the winner Knowledge.
And Greg rode Rose of Danehill was in second place, so some remarkable scenes there.
Well, Ron, you've got a good feel for the Golden Slipper form now. You've got Sports in Melbourne, you've got Guineas in Sydney. How does the Melbourne form compared with the Sydney 2-year-olds?
I reckon they're pretty well line ball, Max, together, and I think a barrier draws are going to be an extremely important part, you know, when it comes to, you know, race day.
I think the Blue Diamond being $1 million race this year elevated it. Often it's been seen as a lead-up to the Golden Slipper, and in fact Lee hasn't run many of his top horses in the Blue Diamond, yet this year $1 million, it was almost too hard to resist, wasn't it?
A withering finish, ideal for the Golden Slipper.
I think he's perfect horse for the Golden Slipper, you know, and we'll take him up there and give him a prep run and a couple. No, I sort of thought about it this year, and I thought, well, Easter is sort of earlier this year, and it's not, I don't think it's as hard to probably keep a horse up from the Diamond for the Slipper as it has been in recent years, because usually the spacing...
Danny, Millwood's run can be forgotten. He ran into 4 brick walls.
He certainly did, and Alan Bell was very confident, and so he should have been prior to the race, but just had no luck. Look, there's always hard luck stories in the Helter-Skelter 1200-metre race, and I think Schubert was probably another one. Ridden a little bit upside down yesterday. He's one I wouldn't throw out of the market for something like the Golden Slipper.
Simon, you and I are thinking on the same wavelength now, because Schubert, I thought, was the best run in the race. Outside of that, Evader, and I thought...
Cup and TAB #1 is a horse we all know, and that is Doremus. Doremus won the Melbourne Cup in 1995. Greg Hall will ride him today. Damien Oliver, of course, rode him in the Melbourne Cup. He's a 10-to-1 chance, or $11 on the tote. Campaign Warrior for Rodney Griffiths is at $15. Peep on the Sly is popular on the tote and with bookies at $5.50 for $1 invest. Miss Tesla is out now to $6. Sammy Highland is riding.
It was out of the stalls, although Skybow immediately has dropped back to last and settling into Strider. One of the first to show out is Skyburner. On the slide, Doremus and Skybow is still last of all. They passed the 800-metre marker, and the leader here still Campaign Warrior, about ahead in advance of Miss Tesla, moving up on the outside, and just behind them Mushtaka. Skyburner's on the rails, Royal Line further back, Waikikamuko and Zuccarino on the outside, commencing to make rounder. They're followed closely by Peep on the Sly, ridden along now, Propose a Toast, followed by Magical Storm. Doremus second last, and still last of all a Skybow as they round the home turn. 450 left to run. Miss Tesla takes the lead in the centre from Zuccarino, and Mushtak putting himself in the picture. Further back then is Waikikamuko, and coming down the outside, Peep on the Sly. Skyburner followed by Doremus and Propose a Toast. 200 metres left to go, and Miss Tesla is the leader. Peep on the Sly down the outside is rattling home well, and then came Zuccarino followed by Mushtak. Miss Tesla still the leader. Peep on the Sly coming at it down the outside. Waikikamuko flying home. Peep on the Sly hit the front. Peep on the Sly has won from Miss Tesla. Chrysler, I think Waikika Mukau third ahead of Royal Line. Close in behind them then would be Skybow, which finished on well, followed by Mushtaka, and further back Zuccarino, followed by Doremus, and Campaign Warrior Propose a Toast, and last is Magical Storm.
From Carnival Viewpoint, and Mick Dittman at his vigorous best on the winner, Peep on the Sly. Miss Tesla's in front in the white with the red cap, but here comes the Enforcer and a couple of back markers. There's Doremus left screen with the white blaze, and in a moment Skybow in dark blue colours will charge home.
They find the line very, very strong, especially Skybow. But the thing about this race is they're very, very bunched, and I don't think any of those horses are in the Australian Cup, Simon.
Interesting after the race, just talking to Bob Maxwell, the trainer of Peep on the Sly. He's going to take Peep on the Sly to the Australian Cup, and he's got to take on the big horses, and he's quite intimidated by them. Probably so he should be. The horse will acquit itself well, but it's got to come up a few rungs to beat that.